Y'all ready? Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the New York born, Las Vegas made, always getting paid with the Usain Bolt fast, the one to beat, but good luck with that. The man who never sleeps and neither does his podcast, the notorious, the glorious, can do everything except Boris, has the funniest jokes, is always woke, the podcast GOAT, the man with the plan, aka your host, Killer Cam. Now kick back in your seat and we welcome you to the podcast that never sleeps, Killer Cam, and witness greatness.
Oh yeah.
Yay. A square balloon? Have you ever seen anything like it?
Yeah, dude. My mic's off, I think. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Oh, good.
I'll turn you up for you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the podcast Never Sleeps. I'm your host, Killer Cam, aka your boy. And with me always is the always funny and knowledgeable JRE Redacted, aka Jared, ladies and gentlemen.
Good to be back. Good to be back. Oh, for some reason I can't hear anything in this, but special episode today. It is actually Cameron's birthday. So double header, new topic, new show, new TPTNS, but also a birthday episode all at the same time.
Oh, yeah.
Double whammy.
Oh, yeah.
So happy birthday, man.
Thank you. Guys,
Happy
by
to
the
be
way.
doing this.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. I want to hear all the words you have to say just real quick. If this is your first time at the podcast Never Sleeps, welcome. Happy to have you. Here we explore the new, the ancient, and the mysterious, all with way too many pop culture references. Isn't that right, JRE Redacted?
That is definitely right.
How's your audio? You sound good?
Yeah,
you can hear me?
I can hear now. Yeah.
All right, cool. So, what were you saying? You were saying something lovely.
I was just saying, happy birthday to you. I'm glad we're doing a show on your birthday. That's a fun way to celebrate. We're going to be talking about some crazy stuff today, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really it. Happy birthday, man.
Yeah, before we tell the people what we'll be diving into, I did want to say...
Some of the people saw our TikTok. They're saying happy birthday.
This ain't the birthday song. What's this?
That's a happy birthday song. Yeah, it is.
Happy birthday to you.
Whoa!
Happy birthday to
Guys,
you.
stop it!
Happy birthday,
Cameron.
That was cool.
happy birthday to you.
DMCA.
Happy birthday.
Yeah,
All right,
right.
it shouldn't have a second
No.
verse. But hey, thank you so much, guys. Every one of you that listens, we appreciate you so much. All of you that jump in the chat, all of you that are always on,
Yeah.
we love you so much. And Jared, it's always fun doing the show with you, my friend.
Yep. Same, buddy.
So,
good way to celebrate.
Absolutely. They're like, oh, are you gonna do a show for even though it's your birthday? Yeah, today's my actual birthday. It's not like,
Yeah.
oh, it was yesterday. No, today's my actual birthday.
Yeah.
And we're doing a show. What better thing to do than a show for your birthday, dude?
I agree.
And especially a great show at that, right?
Oh, yeah.
So, Jared, will you do me and the audience of kindness and explain what we'll be diving into today?
Well, I think it's timely. So yesterday was 9/11, and I think it only made sense on 9/12, your birthday, that we dive into the controversial topic of 9/11. Yes, sir. It's strange, right? This many years later, so many people still have so many questions. They still feel like there's more to the story.
Sure.
And every year we get reports and more things are dropped. There's more stuff redacted or more people coming forward. But what information's true? What do we really know? And this many years later, who really benefited from all of this? I think that's a great subject for today, and it's going to be exciting to really dive into this stuff and then see what questions we're really left with at the end of all this. So yeah, and because it did happen near your birthday, which kind of sucks. I get it. Like
I know,
I imagine,
especially being born in New York.
I was gonna say, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'd love to know how that felt. Literally the day before your birthday, this happens.
Yeah.
So tell me about that.
So yeah, it wasn't fun. So I'll tell you, what happened was I was actually at home and I was getting ready for school. And you got to understand, I was stoked because it was my birthday coming up. So I was like, oh, dude, this is gonna be the best week of my life. I'm gonna have the greatest time. And then so the day before my birthday, we're watching TV and we hear there's something that happened in New York, and so we're watching and we see that there's these plane accidentally hit the Twin Towers.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, shit, dude, I can't believe a plane. How did they lose control? Like, what idiot pilot was doing,
Yeah.
How many drinks did he have, before the flight? And we couldn't really, we didn't know what was going on. And then there's, rumblings of, oh, it could be this, could be that, curiosity. And then a second plane hits.
Right.
And then now we're like, oh, this is attack on America.
Yeah.
Who's doing this? This can't be an accident at this point, right? So everyone was just sort of losing their collective shit.
Yeah.
And
not everybody, I mean, because it's been so many years, there's a lot of folks out there that weren't alive or were babies when it happened.
That don't have experiences.
Yeah.
Like we don't have a JFK, where were we when
Right.
MLK or JFK was shot.
Yeah.
We have our where were you at 9/11, right?
Right.
And so yeah, I remember I was watching it with my dad. And it was before I was getting ready for school, or it was while I was getting ready for school, before school, obviously. And then, so we're watching it, and there's a lot to it. Obviously, he has a connection to the towers, being, born in New York and growing up in New York. And so when we saw the first tower fall, I remember his face was like blank. Like he couldn't even fathom the thought of these gargantuan, epic structures just crumble.
Still crazy to watch those videos.
Seeing just a giant puff of smoke where these two buildings used to be, and then just nothingness.
Yeah,
it was hard to fathom. Where were you? What were you up to? Because we weren't together.
No,
I didn't know
I was with my mom having breakfast before school. We put on the news every morning. We watched the news before. I'd walk to the bus.
Bad habit.
And we saw that there was fire on one of the Twin Towers, and the news report that we were watching said that possibly a bomb went off. They didn't even have the info yet.
Sure.
Then we find out that it was a plane that somehow off course.
A bomb makes sense because previously there was a bomb that went off. Right,
and that's what it looked like, right?
Yeah.
So they didn't know yet. And then they say, okay, actually, we're getting reports now it was a plane.
Yeah.
And so as we're eating breakfast, getting ready to go, we watch another plane flying towards the building, and it's like, wait
a minute.
And it hits the other building, and it's like, wait, is this what happened earlier? Or no, this is live.
Yeah.
So we watched the second tower get hit.
I remember that because it's like, oh, they're re-showing it, but the other tower's already on fire.
It's still on
It was
fire.
that what's going on?
Yeah. So then like something weird is happening.
Yeah.
I did have a cell phone. Not everybody. This wasn't the age of like everyone having a cell phone yet, but I did have a cell phone. I go to school. Not one class did we learn anything, right? Every class had the TV on, playing the news.
Yeah.
And I was getting text messages and calls from my mom saying we're under attack. They've attacked the Pentagon. They're trying to attack the White House. We may be going to war, because there was so much confusion that day. She wasn't sure if she should pick me up from school even. So just a wild day. Yeah. So much conjecture and no answers.
Yeah.
Looking back now, though, and seeing, because you can go and see all the different reporters and all the different news reports, there was a lot of things being said.
Oh, yeah,
which is interesting.
People were saying a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
First of all, I want to thank you, D-Lavar. Thank you, Tina, for the birthday wishes. It's very sweet of you. Also, I want to know, everybody in the chat and in the comments, once this video is out, let us know where you were when you heard the news. And, were you at the laundromat? Where were you?
Yeah.
It could be a million places. It could be somewhere funny. I was in Arby's, when they were opening. And I was opening up for Arby's. Whatever the hell. So, where were you when you heard the news?
It was early morning.
Somewhere weird, strange?
On the West Coast.
Were you doing the walk of shame from some girl or guy's house? What was happening? Who knows? So, let us know. And then, that's wild. But, so I say, we just sort of jump into it and we start... talking about some of the conspiracy theories around it, some of the theories in general around it.
I think that's awesome. Yeah, because again, so many questions after all these years.
Oh yeah,
so many conspiracy theories.
Because
out
the
there.
the more time there's been, the more time people have had to come up with theories, as well as the more documents have been released, and the more we've actually learned about some stuff in some cases.
I know.
Specifically something I'm talking about in one of mine later.
Okay.
So I'll start us off.
Yeah.
There's something that always fascinated me, and I think it's the coolest. I mean, every part of this is sad, and we just got to understand that it's gonna
Yeah.
be sad. But so moment of silence to all the people who passed, from the first responders to everybody in the towers at the time, to the people
Of course.
at on the planes, everybody.
Yeah.
Moment of silence. Just God bless you all. So sad. And
Yeah.
quick moment of silence for 5 whole seconds.
Yeah.
Let's do 11 seconds. I don't know how well you count, but
Yeah.
that was a
No,
lot of
I
me.
like the moment of silence
Yeah.
thing. I mean,
So-
obviously, the goal of this isn't disrespectful in any way, right? Even the families of the people that were affected directly, everyone was affected in their own way, but people they deserve answers. So I
Sure.
think it's the right thing to do is to let's dive into some of this stuff and see if we can get some answers out of this from the research we've done and from all the things we've heard over the years. So yeah,
And chat,
with most respect, of course.
Chat, with all respect, absolutely. And chat, just so you know, the best episodes are when you guys are most involved. So blow up that chat. We love seeing what you guys have to say. So first, I want to start, Jared, with, like I was sort of prefacing with before, one of my favorite aspects of it, and one of the most curious aspects and coolest. What could I be talking about? So, Flight 93, United 93.
Yeah.
So there's so much to it. There's a film made about it. There's a lot to it. So first of all, a lot of people believe that United 93 was shot down by a missile.
Right. I've heard that theory.
Yeah, that's been going around forever.
Yeah.
Right, since. So the plane was planned, they think, to hit the White House.
Okay.
Some say the Capitol building.
Yeah, I remember hearing that.
Yes.
On
So-
the day they had, I think, a fifth plane too, and we don't know.
So
they might have been aiming for both.
TMZ did a whole documentary thing about the fifth plane.
Yeah,
And how it was emptied out. It was very curious. I didn't get into it because we already have so much conjecture. I didn't want to be like, let's pile on top of it to it. But we could get into it if we have time. But anyway, so a lot of people believe it was a missile, and there's a few reasons why. So let me play this video first. And so one thing that's curious is a man who saw the crash, just the aftermath, heard something and saw the crash. Here's what he had to say. And tell me what you think about what he says and how he says it specifically. Oops.
The earliest known video has surfaced showing the immediately was taping the cloud of smoke. Burkabile described what he saw.
I just saw the smoke come up, and the explosion shook the house clear over here. They ran one into the Pentagon and into the World Trade Center, and we're watching it on TV, and this one happened.
Jeez.
So he said the explosion.
Right.
He felt the explosion.
Yeah.
Which is a curious way to phrase it, right? Mm-hmm. If it's a crash landing or something, you would say, I felt, the vibration, I felt the crash.
Yeah.
He says explosion. And so that's, a lot of people found that odd.
Yeah.
Right? Secondly, people said they saw a white jet flying around.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. Like right around, and this is confirmed. They saw a white jet flying around the site.
Okay.
So they're like,
So possibly a fighter jet.
this is a
they're
fighter
thinking,
jet
okay.
that they sent to shoot down this plane.
Yeah, which was normal, right? If planes went off course over our airspace or were somewhere they weren't supposed to be, they are intercepted. That's business as usual. And so it is kind of strange on this day that some of these planes did not have that happen. And they do say it was during a day that they were doing these training exercises, the Air Force.
Yeah.
And so there weren't those extra resources for something like this. So maybe the timing just happened.
A little,
But
convenient.
who would know that kind of
not.
timing?
Sure.
Did the terrorists actually know that was the time to do it? It's interesting.
Official
It
brass?
brings up more
who knows?
questions.
It does.
Yeah.
Another reason they think it was a missile is because of the debris and how far out the debris was. So the engine was over a mile away from the crash site.
Yeesh, yeah.
And
Wow.
in the Indian Lake, they were picking debris out of the lake 6 miles away.
Oh, wow.
So the only thing that would make sense is if it was a mid-air collision
Yeah.
or a missile,
Oof.
and then that's how
That's
it gets spread out
interesting.
so far,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Very interesting.
Okay.
Because if it just crash landed, right, you wouldn't have this debris, this great
For
debris
6
field.
miles,
that
yeah,
goes
that
6
does
miles
seem
far.
pretty big. That's a radius.
So yeah, that's the United 93 myth. So very very odd, very very strange. What are they saying in the chat, Ja?
Yeah, so Chase is wondering what the explanation for the towers falling in a way that looked like a controlled demolition.
Oh, we'll get there, brother.
Yeah, that's a great question.
And what's Tina Zarega saying?
And she said that she was always up super early and watched the whole thing live on the news while making breakfast.
She's the best.
Yeah, and we all became one that day.
Oh, yeah.
Wish it lasted. Yeah, that's true. This was definitely something that united people in this country. Yeah, and we'll
I
talk
can see
more
Tina
about that.
up early, doing her thing, making breakfast, watching the news, doing her due diligence, wanting to soak up information. Because, hey, if you haven't noticed, on this show,
Yeah.
her, Chase Mack, always on here, giving life when he shows up, which
Yeah.
I'm sure he will. Always on here. Every topic we bring up, they know something about.
Yeah, that's
they,
true.
They interject in
Yeah.
some way. Like, oh, have you mentioned? Oh, did they know that
Yeah.
George was sitting next
See,
to him?
that's the best. We
Yeah,
have the
it's the best.
smartest audience. We
Yeah.
do.
We do. So, yeah, United 93. So
Okay.
wild. So what do you got?
So that's a good theory. So another conspiracy theory out there is the Pentagon. The
Sure.
plane that hit the Pentagon. People believe that it wasn't a plane, at all.
plane? Yeah,
that
exactly.
It was a missile attack. There's a few reasons for this. The hole in the sides of the building, they found it to be too small to fit a jet.
Sure.
They said that there was a lack of wreckage. There was no plane debris.
Yeah.
And that nobody actually saw a plane hit. The video footage that they had and released doesn't show a plane hitting the building. And I have that video.
Yeah.
So let's
and
watch
the
it.
hole's only like 70 feet wide or something. Yeah, it's
It's
some oddities.
yeah. So yeah,
But,
right off the bat, looking at it, it does look a little small to fit an entire airliner.
Do we got a TS on this bad boy?
No. So this is it. This is right in front of the Pentagon.
Oh crap! Let's full screen this bad boy.
Yeah, this is probably
Yeah, so that's it hitting in the corner, and then that, yeah, boom.
so something hits
Jeez
it. You don't get to see really
Louise.
what it is. It's like a traffic camera outside of the. This is the Pentagon.
Yeah.
If any building in our country should have extreme
security?
yeah,
Yeah.
with cameras everywhere,
You'd
best
assume it'd be the
technology,
Pentagon.
right? But somehow this is all we get.
They have one camera for every all 5 sides.
Yeah, right. And it's like the worst quality camera,
from
traffic
far
camera.
away.
You can't really get anything from that.
So this is clearly the camera for like entering,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And that's all they got.
Traffic. Yeah,
that's all you got.
all you have. So interesting theory. Maybe we'll get more into this one later. But again, the video doesn't show a plane. I don't see wreckage field. I don't see. I mean, look at that. It just literally looks like something.
That's so odd to me.
Yeah, something hit.
So you see
and
something in the
explodes.
corner,
Yeah, and it's
then
fast.
just boom.
Fast enough to skip frames.
To,
where
yeah,
you can't see
literally.
it. Yeah.
You lose frames.
Yeah.
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 The frame rate didn't keep up, but it's a security camera, so I guess you can't really expect it to.
Right.
Curious. All right. What else you got?
No, that's for that theory. That's it.
That's it. All right.
It's a small hole, too small for an airliner. Not enough footage.
So speaking of the Pentagon, if we want to stay on that topic,
Yeah.
a lot of people thought that the Pentagon was a cover-up for embezzlement.
Yeah.
And so I actually have a video of my own here that we'll speak to that.
That would just be so extreme.
Dude.
So it would have to be an extreme amount of embezzlement.
Yeah, to cover up for embezzlement, like, dude, this is what you're gonna do to cover up for embezzling. But it has to be an exorbitant amount of fucking money to
Yes.
do this horrific thing.
Yeah. Especially with people.
Or 9/11. The day before the attacks, Rumsfeld gave a press conference where he talked about trillions of dollars missing.
Right. I remember that.
Yep.
The day. Then a plane slams into the very part of the building where they were doing the accounting. Blows up half the fucking building in the Pentagon.
Yeah.
Blows up a wall. Donald Rumsfeld was on, where was it, the White House lawn? Listen to this.
This is like 10 minutes, but it's at the Pentagon. This is on C-SPAN. You can look it up right now.
We got to get to the quote where he says,
He mentions $2.3 trillion in missing receipts. He talks about his, in quotes, adversary.
2.3 trillion
but see if
missing.
you can just find the quote. See there's I know
UFO
there's
programs.
YouTube videos.
Yeah.
You're
all-
what
that's
are you
where it all
looking
went.
at?
Yeah.
There's clips on here on C-SPAN. You can
Okay.
you should get there.
If you just Google it on, don't even do that. Just go through YouTube.
That's what.
I know.
Yeah, I remember. I think we've watched
have
that
to
speech
see
on
it,
here
'cause-
before.
Yeah.
There it
For our
Yeah, I think that's
UFO
it.
episode that
Let's
remember
see.
we did that alien reproduction vehicle episode.
What about it?
We talked about this this exact quote.
Oh, yeah.
Because
Okay,
how
now,
did they get the money
again.
to fund that stuff?
Yeah.
Somebody told you that literally like right before 9/11 happened, they said they couldn't track $2.3 trillion. You'd go, no,
What?
that didn't happen.
Yeah.
That did not happen, but it did happen.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, so think about what Kennedy said.
Yeah.
Think about what you saw when you saw that Vice movie where Dick Cheney,
That movie's so
who
good.
was the CEO of Halliburton, becomes a vice president and gets billions of dollars in no-bid contracts.
Yeah.
Now think about what we just saw with Donald Rumsfeld saying they couldn't find $2.3 trillion. I don't know where what. I don't know. I don't know. Seems
Yeah,
like
and
we
wasn't
should
that
have had it. So,
that
like,
part of
we'll
the
keep- we'll
building
keep
was the
looking.
only part of the building that was bolstered to handle like a missile attack, which
So,
is interesting.
They actually have
office because
the
this
quote
plane a couple of days later.
here.
It's unbelievable.
It's in the corner.
So crazy.
Did I
And
skip
no one
it?
talks about that $1 trillion. Couldn't track $2.3 trillion.
Yeah, right here.
$1 billion in
Listen to
There you
this.
go.
Yeah, I think
This is
that's
Donald
it.
Rumsfeld.
Let's see.
what it already spends.
According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 trillion in transactions.
That's
What?
so gross. That's so gross.
What?
That's a gross amount of money.
That's obscene.
Yeah.
That's
Oh.
obscene.
Pre 9/11.
Yeah.
They're missing 2.3 trillion.
Dude,
The Defense Department.
obscene.
Yeah.
So I actually want to talk about Donald Rumsfeld just for 1 second.
Yeah.
Here's how smart this man is. I think people don't give him enough credit. So he's actually quite the eloquent man.
Reports that say that something hasn't happened are always interesting to me because, as we know, there are known knowns. There are things we know. We also know there are known unknowns. That is to say, we know there are some things we do not know. There are also
true.
unknowns. The ones we don't know. We don't know.
That's true too.
Hey, it's preach, brother.
Yeah.
Preach.
Imagine him and W together just
Oh my
back
God,
and forth.
back-
Yeah. Fool me once, that's an unknown.
Yeah.
That's an unknown. Fool me twice, that's a known unknown because you knew it was unknown.
And once you fool me twice, there's never going to be another unknown. I'm going to know.
I know that you know that.
I'm going to know the
And
unknown.
now it's pretty unknown
you
to
know-
me
do you know-
how we started this conversation. So
Oh, I know
I know that you knew why I called you here.
why. I know you know I know it. At the very least, I
It was
know
an
that you know I
unknown
know.
reason, sir. But I know
Just-
now
yeah.
that you don't know.
Yeah. And like Colin
known.
Powell's there, like, what the fuck is going on?
No, there's
Condoleezza.
There's a bunch of people in the room. They're just like, okay, so we can siphon off another trillion.
Hold
These
on.
guys won't know.
Yeah, yeah. Let's just keep this fucking
Yeah.
gamut going. Yeah.
You guys continue.
Yeah. Well, the unknown of the unknown is unknown if you think about it.
Yeah,
A double
I'll
negative.
Pull up my UFO.
Yeah, yeah. And then Condoleezza Rice. Here's ready for the best Condoleezza Rice impression you've ever seen.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
That's
Oh,
fucking
man.
great. That's perfect.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, that's really good.
Okay.
So insane, just nuts, just nuts.
So money's missing, and the part of the Pentagon where they're all of a sudden they're saying they're missing all this money, and they're going to try and figure out where it went. That part of the
On
building
September 10th,
explodes.
2011,
Yeah.
they say, hey guys, something that's known but may be unknown, but I know is known, is that we're missing $2.3 trillion.
Sir, how are we missing 2.3 trillion? Well,
So
It
it's
is
known.
unknown, yeah.
It's known that we are missing $2.3 trillion. but it is unknown how we are missing that amount of money.
Yeah, how was it unknown that it was unknown?
Exactly right.
Okay.
That was well said, young
Yeah.
man.
All
Do you
right.
want to join the cabinet?
Yeah.
Do you want to be a part
I'd
of the
like to
Department of
talk
Defense?
more about this because I want to know.
Well,
Yeah.
you'd be known as an unknown.
Yeah, right now I'm an unknown, but
begin
I
with.
could be very well known if I'm in this circle of knowns.
Maybe.
Yeah.
One day, Mr. Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Yeah, there you go. Happy birthday,
You
Kay.
actually
We got
said
another
my
happy
name first.
birthday.
Thank you, Jessica.
So yeah, okay. So I get it. I get the point here. So there could be some cover up going on.
Yeah.
So there's this attack. Let's say they're unrelated. I did hear during. So they did a whole 9/11 commission, and it was
Yes,
the Secretary of Housing, I think, and Development. I'm pretty sure that's who it was. He gave testimony that they were in the PIOC after the buildings get hit. The PIOC is like this presidential. Panic room that they have under the White House. So the vice president and the president are down there, and there's a soldier, and this secretary of development's down there with them. And he said they were giving them live updates saying, "Sir, it's 300 yards out. Sir, it's 200 yards out. Sir, it's 100 yards out. Do the orders still stand?" Talking to the vice president. And he looks at the soldier and he says, and this is all testimony, and you can look this up.
He says, "Is this known or is this unknown?"
He basically says, "Did I tell you anything to the contrary?" Meaning the orders stand.
Yeah.
So he's like, "I don't know what the orders were, but there were some orders given that had to do directly with the timing of something hitting the Pentagon." So they knew it was going to happen, and they allowed it to happen, or they were the ones who initiated it to happen. That's the conspiracy. And that testimony lends itself to that conspiracy that they
there were
allowing it to happen.
Jets that were. We'll talk about that later, presume, right? There were jets that were sent off for the Pentagon.
Scrambled to
Yeah.
possibly. What do you mean, to protect it, or
to take down the plane that was
right? And was the order to not shoot it down and stop?
Oh no,
it?
I'm sorry. This one's for not. Is this the Pentagon? No, this is for the White House one. There are orders to take down.
Oh,
Flight
93. Okay, yeah.
Are you gonna get into that later? No, you're not.
No, that's you.
No, but there was orders to get in, to take it out, and they scrambled jets, and
as they should have. Yeah.
Dick Cheney said scrambled jets. The only issue was the jets didn't have any missiles on them.
Yeah.
So it's going to be like a kamikaze mission, basically.
Yeah, like bump them.
But they didn't get there in time and crashed.
Yeah, crazy.
Or got hit by a missile.
That was the response. Yeah, there's so many weird questions around this. Like, how is that the response?
Dude.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Very strange.
Very strange.
So,
Next, what you got?
So there's also a rumor that the owner of the World Trade Center towers, he had bought the buildings just a couple months prior. Larry Silverstein, I think is his name. Yeah. He had purchased them 2 months prior to the attack, and he had bought terrorist insurance, ensuring that if there was a terrorist attack on these buildings, that he would get paid, and he actually got paid double what they were
Buildings like that have terrorist insurance?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Isn't that funny?
But I guess makes sense. But
2
still
months
crazy.
prior to this happening, buys the buildings, gets the terrorist insurance that would pay him double out what it's worth.
Oh, it happened when?
Not only that, 2 months prior.
Oh,
And
fuck,
not only
come
that,
on,
he would eat breakfast every day at World Trade Center. Every day. That was his habit.
Except
this day, he
Yeah.
had an emergency doctor's appointment and wasn't there.
what is he, JP Morgan with the Titanic? Come on.
He apparently so. He is that lucky. And we did an episode about that.
Yeah, go watch our American Dynasty.
That's an interesting story, right? And again, that was an insurance scam. Was the conspiracy theory around that?
Yeah.
So people think that he knew that this was coming, that they brought him in on this plan, whoever they are, and that he was able to make some money on it. He loses his towers, but he gets double what they're worth, and he just happens to not be there on the day of the attack, even though he was there every other day. So that's an interesting one.
Very JP Morgan-esque. Very
it is.
fraud, insurance fraud.
Yeah, people think it's like one of the biggest insurance fraud scams in history as a part of this, overarching.
Can you
topic.
imagine? Yeah, you got to be such an evil monster
To know about it and do nothing. Yeah. Agreed.
So you knew this, and yet you did nothing. What is that?
No, we never know. We say it all the time. We don't know what that is. You knew, yet you
Oh,
didn't.
I know. I think I know what it is. We're just doing the wrong voice.
Okay.
You knew, and yet you did nothing. It's is it Man in the Iron Mask? He's talking to D'Artagnan.
I don't think so.
That he knew his son was gonna get sent out. You knew.
No, that's a different scene. The scene you did with the voice was
You
right.
knew,
The
and yet you
original.
did
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's
I
a
just don't know what it
vampire,
is.
so I'm talking. You knew, and yet you did nothing.
No,
It's a fucking vampire.
I don't know. It's an action movie though, for sure.
Why? What comes to your head?
Nothing. It's that's why it sucks.
Like, just tell me when you picture.
Just
you knew,
it's an action
and yet you did
movie
nothing.
scene. It's about.
How do you picture the guy looking? Yeah.
I can't picture.
It's
a
about
person.
what? Go on.
Some sort of attack that could have been prevented. That is the reason why this guy, through the whole movie, does what he does. Like
Yeah.
it is what drove him. It might even be the villain.
Yeah.
I can't remember though what it is specifically.
Yeah.
But that is something. That's something else. It's not Man in the Iron Mask.
Okay.
But
All right. Anyway, do you agree?
Sure.
I agree. All right. So, what was next?
So I just did the theory that the owner was in on it.
Yeah, I like it. I hate it, but I like it. So,
For
another
insurance
theory.
money.
Yeah, that's such bullshit, dude. You got to be the worst. So, next for me, you know what I'll do? I'll do what my boy Chase was asking about.
Yeah.
Hold on. What did he say? Speaking
He's saying
to the
that
devil?
insurance thing is actually interesting, and he wants
Very
to know more
interesting.
about that. So we'll get into that.
So, by the way, yeah, we're gonna dive everything we've spoken about. We're gonna dive a little more into later.
Oh yeah, we're just laying out the conspiracy.
Yeah, don't
theories.
think we're saying 2 minutes,
Just
or something, and then
rattling
just
off
moving on.
nonsense. No.
we're gonna get
Yeah.
into all this later.
Yeah, we want to kind of just say what are the open questions. Well, and it's been 20 years.
And then we're gonna
Why are
start
there
giving
still
some answers.
open questions? Yeah,
exactly. So, was the World Trade Center a controlled demolition? So many
that's
people.
the big one. That's the big question.
So many people point to puffs of smoke emanating from from many of the floors.
Yeah.
And they believe that this is the towers has a collapsed these pipes of smoke. I didn't read that right. Puffs of smoke emanating from each of the floors of the towers has a collapsed these pipes. I don't know what I meant to say.
Yeah.
So it's proof that the building was brought down by the setting of. I was tired apparently when I wrote this. Setting of that had been drilled into the columns. So basically, what I'm trying to say is there was charges.
Okay.
People believe that charges were built into. It's been my birthday week, dude. I've been going hard, dude. I've been going so fucking hard. Last night, dude. Can I tell you what I did last night without you judging me? Honestly,
Pull it. That's funny. Yeah, we'll talk about that one next.
yeah. So without you judging me,
Yeah.
honestly, truthfully, lovingly, can I tell you this?
Sure.
No judgments. Promise.
I can't promise no judgments. That's like something you can't promise something like that. It's like
Okay.
promising not to get mad before someone tells you something they know it's going to make
Promise
you
you won't get mad or judge.
mad. Okay.
Okay, you promised. So, just don't show me your anger or your judgment. I played a little Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, bro, and I had the time of my fucking life, dude.
Why would I judge you for that?
I know I was building up to something like I did, like I banged 3 hookers in an alleyway.
Yeah,
But
something weird.
after that, I played Biohazard 7.
That sounds fun,
dude.
yeah.
Can I tell you what? So remember, you and I used to play Resident Evil 5.
5, yeah.
And it was the literal tits.
The best. Yeah, it was the best.
Yeah.
I love that game.
Dude, this one, and you'll dig it.
Yeah.
You'll dig it. This one, it's first person. So, first person, you know what that means. And you go around limited ammo, just like all the
Yeah.
other games and stuff. But you're trapped in this house, and you get like your arm cut off.
Yeah.
And like they reattach it with this thing. If you get your leg cut off, you have to reattach it before you bleed out.
Oh shit,
dude, it's so insane.
Yeah.
And you like, it's like this. The episode we just did about the Skinwalker Ranch. What's
Yeah.
the movie? Cabin in the Woods, where we did
Okay.
the redneck. That's basically who you're fighting is redneck
Okay, yeah,
zombies.
yeah.
Fucking redneck zombies. But dude, like the best is to heal yourself.
Yeah.
You got to take the herb and mix it with the thing, just like in the other games.
Yeah.
But you just like pour it on your hands, and it heals you because your hands will be like all covered in gashes and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude, it's the fucking sickest.
That sounds
game.
cool,
It
yeah.
came out like 5 years ago. But
Oh,
guys, it
sounds
just came
fun.
out free on PlayStation Plus, so I'm like, fuck it, let me buy it. Why not?
Yeah.
Dude, I went so hard on that game. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, anybody who's played Resident Evil 7 Biohazard, it's the shit. Tell me about it in the chat and in the comments how dope that game is. Anyway, so was it a controlled demolition? So they see these puffs of smoke coming out of all the windows, right? Very curious.
Right.
And so they assumed there was charges set by people in the columns so that when the buildings went down, they'd go do 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 do.
Yeah.
And to see, and look how curious this is, Jared. Look at these puffs of smoke. Look at that right
Yeah.
before the building goes down.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Right? Very curious.
And we saw, everyone's seen how they came down. They free fall directly into themselves. We live in Vegas. We've watched how many implosions of buildings out here. It used to be, until the strip was what it was, it was ritualistic. It was every couple of years.
Stardust, I remember. Yeah.
They knock
we
them
saw-
down.
Yeah,
and that's how they look.
Dude, it stopped being interesting. I'm like, oh, they're going to knock down the
just collapse
Sahara.
in on themselves,
Who cares? Yeah.
like in their own footprint.
100%.
The planes hit the towers in different places. It's not like it was these exact circumstances that to create this effect.
And just like you said, they
That's
fall
strange.
down. They vertically fall straight down, right?
Within seconds.
That's another reason why people think it was a controlled demolition.
Right.
So people also say there's no way that jet fuel could have melted steel beams.
Right.
Jet fuel cannot melt steel beams.
Right.
And the steel beams that supported the structure. So how, even if this plane hits real hard, and there's the jet fuel
ignites
like crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, jet fuel burns at 1,500 degrees. Steel melts at 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit and Fahrenheit.
And there's 12 stories above where it hits and like 90 stories below it.
Yeah.
So these 12 stories have to take out these other 90 somehow.
Yeah.
That's
wild.
tough.
It's a
and when you
tough
watch
ask.
when you watch it happen,
It's a
not
tough
like,
ask.
It's not like you see the 12 floors like slam and
And
then
then
take
boom,
it
boom,
down.
boom, boom, boom.
No,
it's
it's just free fall.
Yeah, straight up. What did Chase say?
He says, glad to know that you played that game recently. It's amazing.
It is. You played it, my
Nothing
boy
like
Chase.
a good game session. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, funny.
What did he say? Nothing like a good game session. Facts, dude. I got a little of the reef. I got a little. I just drink water, but still, I got a little bit of the reef, and I just played the game, dude. It's so much fun.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna do that probably tonight before work.
Nice.
Diana, happy birthday, Cameron. Everybody with these birthday wishes.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We have the best fucking audience, dude. I love you guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Mwah, mwah, mwah. Diana, Tina, D, Livewire. Chase probably said it. Who knows? All right. So, Ja Resurrectus.
There's a video. There's a video for that one.
Well, I'm not done, bro.
Oh, okay.
Ja Resurrectus.
Yes.
When you look at it, do you think, controlled demolition? Or do you think, possibly this, that, the third?
No, when you watch it fall, it looks like it was.
It looks like
demolished.
controlled demolition, right?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I always thought, ding, ding, ding. So I actually have a video here.
Yeah.
Of
which means that there's more to the attack than just flying planes into it. That's basically what that would mean, right? That there would have to be more to it. It couldn't just be the planes hit and somehow the buildings were able to be taken down that way. There would had to have been some other part of this plan. Yeah, because it's just too strange, man.
Here it is. Okay. Sir. Oh, the audience can see this? I didn't realize they could see this. Oops. I made a mistake. Okay, 2935. I got it, brother. Thank you, though.
All right.
Okay.
Well, but then another plane hit the other building. I just feel a little shook up because I got blasted.
Here, restart that.
He's all shook
I want
up.
to hear when he said it first. Here we go.
Here we
Oh,
go.
jeez Louise. Yeah,
It's
look
so
at this.
fucking tough to look
comparison.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
Yeah, look at the speed of that. Boom, 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 boom.
think a bomb went off in the lobby first, then a plane hit the building. But then another
That's
plane
interesting.
hit the other building.
So he says before the plane even hit, he heard an explosion in the lobby.
I got blasted.
As we were coming out, we passed the lobby. There was no lobby. So I believe the bomb hit the lobby first. And a couple of seconds in the first plane hit.
Escaping from the plane crash, the lobby was already destroyed.
I said, this is something we have to do. We have to back out. That's when I was caught again in the second explosion. We were just dragging people along with us.
Yeah.
And then when we came outside, it just blew. The tower blew. Boom, 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 boom. As the bomb went down, people just started
These are
running.
witnesses.
I just turned around and I just started running for my life.
I looked at which people in the fire department.
Pretty crazy.
Nuts.
Yeah, so those are just a few reports. There's so this guy, he found 156 witnesses on the ground that day. First
CTB,
responders.
hey. Sorry, Jared.
They were all first responders that said that they heard explosions going off one at a time as the floors were being taken out. And even the news reporters were reporting right when it happened that there had to have been some sort of bombs at the bottom of the structure. They had engineers on that they called up like live while this was going on to give, to say what they thought happened. They said, oh, there's no way that you can bring the building down that way without having some sort of explosion at the bottom of the structure. So there must have been, there was also reports of a van that was parked underneath one that may have been a bomb that exploded. They said they found thermite in the wreckage that was used for burning through steel. So there's tons of stuff around the controlled demolition theory here. Tons of, and that's why that theory is so prevalent for so many years.
But crazy. We got a lot of crazy stuff coming up.
Oh yeah.
But the best is yet to come. This is just the groundwork, folks. We're laying down the groundwork. So, Jared, what do we got next?
So another theory that's been standing the test of time, and I think this is one that people really, that really points to a conspiracy.
Can I guess?
Go ahead.
Is it anything to do with Building 7?
Yeah, Building 7. It's very strange, right? So yeah, 3 buildings go down that day. 2 of them are hit by planes, and that is the reason that we're given as to how those 2 buildings went down.
More than 3, because there's Tower 1, Tower 2, and then Building 3, 4, 5, 6. Because they were all like little areas.
But
like
only 3 went
and
down
stuff.
that day, right? So that's what I'm saying.
Well,
So
no,
only 3.
Those all got destroyed as well.
No, they
right?
didn't. That's
little buildings didn't get
They
destroyed.
didn't. That's the problem. So only 3 went down.
Curious.
So buildings 3, 4, 5, and 6
Building
all
tension?
were right around the same area. They all took damage from the towers falling, but none of them collapsed. None of them. The only one that collapsed was Building 7. Building 7 did catch fire, and we watched it on fire for hours.
Yeah.
There was a lot of people saying, "Get ready, that building's going to come down." There's tons of reports.
the towers collapsed.
After they fell, yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we watched it. It did catch fire. We know that.
Yeah.
But the reason people don't think that they believe there's more to this is because how did it collapse? How did this building also free fall when it didn't get hit by a plane?
Yeah.
The surrounding buildings, including the Dutch Bank and the other towers 3, 4, 5, and 6, none of them fell. None of them imploded. None of them went down or collapsed in this manner. None of them collapsed at all. Just Building 7.
So those little buildings that were way smaller than Building 7
all in
didn't
the same
collapse.
vicinity. None of them went down. Just Building 7. Why? Why would they take down Building 7? Well, there's
what's
a few
in Building
theories.
7?
Yeah, so there was theories that the SEC had an office there, and there were some interesting trades made before 9/11. Some insider stuff that they were supposedly looking into. The CIA also had a clandestine office there. Some people believe that the command center for this attack was within Building 7.
So there's a million reasons.
A few,
there's 3 huge reasons.
Right.
All could stand on their own.
Yeah. You want to wipe out the evidence. If the owner was in on this, like Tina said, pull it. That quote, it comes from Building 7. So at some point, he said, they asked him, because the firefighters were fighting the fires, he said, pull it. And people think that means let it go, like blow it up, take it down.
It,
so many people for hours and hours up to the point before it collapsed were saying, this building's next to go. This building's next to go. When asked how they knew that, they said, well, we were told from higher command that it was going to come down. How did they know it was going to come down? when did fires in a couple floors implode an entire building? There's no other. We can't point to any other time in history
There's no
where
like
that's
precedent
happened.
for that. Yeah.
So that's strange. That
Curious.
maybe somebody with a conscience above them wanted as many people out of there as possible by letting them know this one's next.
Yeah, this next.
Who knows?
Get out of here. Yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah.
So, but yeah, there was some. Apparently, there might have been some evidence in there worth destroying.
That was so silly, Jared. You're so cute. That's so cute. Maybe a government official or higher up.
Somebody,
had a conscience.
if there was someone involved in this, yeah, maybe they they wanted to pull some people out of it.
You split my sides, buddy. You make me slap my knees.
Yeah, how sad is that?
I know,
That's
seriously
funny.
though, right?
But that's true. So they knew it would come down, and eventually it did, and it came down at free fall speed again. There wasn't something that, and people heard explosions around it. So
yeah.
yeah.
I mean, God, I wish there's like more truth to that. That they would they had consciences. But you know who's always very truthful? I feel like it's Chase Mack.
Yeah.
Did he said anything recently in the comments? Because he's never lied ever. And
Yeah,
he's always correct.
saying this is so good so far.
Oh, weird.
Good
What?
job. Yeah.
Oh, weird. That's the timing. It's impeccable.
Very truthful man.
Yeah, always.
So Building 7 is a huge part of this conspiracy.
Yeah, it is.
How did that building go down?
Freaking 7,
Yeah,
dude.
and-
I couldn't tell you.
And
bro.
it's the only one that had those,
Controlled
clandestine offices in
explosion?
there.
Who knows, my guy? Who knows?
So again, and maybe another cover up for some misdeeds by taking it down.
Misdeeds. So this next one.
Yeah.
This next one. So I was looking into it, right?
Yeah.
And dude, you want to look for both sides of an argument. You want to see, you want to see everything covered, leave no stone
Right.
unturned. So the next thing I wanted to look into was 9/11 was the plan to get the nation behind going to war with Iraq, with Afghanistan and Iraq. Did they leverage 9/11 to get that? And I'm gonna show you a video. Thanks to Johnny Harris who made this video. It is.
It's so funny because Chase's comments pretty timely.
What'd he say?
He said they didn't even really investigate the matter. It was just bad guys from another country. Let's go to war.
Yeah.
So that's funny.
Oh,
So
very timely.
He's right on the money with
Yeah.
where we're
See,
going.
Told
Yeah.
you he never misses.
He gets it.
So,
Jeez, yeah.
Johnny Harris, well done video. I'd recommend everyone go to his channel and watch this entire video after you watch like 12 of our videos. But no, seriously, this is it's real shit.
Yeah.
It's a solid video. I watched the whole thing. I was enthralled. But just for the sake of this podcast,
Yeah.
it's nuclear science. I just want to show a couple
Nuclear science.
parts.
That's the best.
Did I get to the wrong one? No, this is what was it?
Our friends against.
Okay, here it is. All right, sir. I hate that you got me saying that. 421. Let's go to 421.
Oof.
So the official story goes like this.
Oh, this isn't mine. This is one of yours, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Here we
Yes,
are.
he had to.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. Jared really fucking dropped the ball.
Yeah.
On September the 11th, enemies of freedom committed an act of war against our country.
The United States military has begun strikes against al-Qaeda terrorist training camps in Afghanistan.
Let's start by looking at another document from the fall of 2001, when Deputy Secretary of Defense Paul Wolfowitz created this memo for his boss, Donald Rumsfeld, the Secretary of Defense. This was just 10 weeks after the attacks that changed the course of history, but this document wasn't about that. It was about Iraq, a country that had nothing to do with 9/11. Rumsfeld reviewed the document before meeting with an army general. He marked it up with his notes, giving us insight into what the Secretary of Defense of the United States was really thinking about after 9/11. How this group of military leaders were set on, quote, building momentum to topple Iraq's dictator Saddam Hussein,
Right.
to decapitate the government, a government that was no longer useful to them. Saddam Hussein had been a useful client to the United States, especially in the 80s when he was waging a war against Iran, an enemy of the United States. But those days were now over. Saddam had turned into just a troublemaker in the region, creating instability that could threaten the U.S.'s easy access to oil.
2 hours ago, Allied air forces began an attack on military targets in Iraq
Bush Sr.
and Kuwait.
Yep.
This conflict started August 2nd when the dictator of Iraq invaded a small and helpless neighbor.
And in many ways, Iraq was an old mess in need of cleaning up. A mess that Bush Sr. had failed to resolve during the first Gulf War. Iraq was supposed to disarm itself after that war, but had kicked out the UN weapons inspector teams. But that wasn't the main reason why right after 9/11 these guys were talking about invading Iraq. A bigger reason is that these leaders wanted to remind the world who the global superpower was. They needed to after being brutally attacked on their own soil. A non-US friendly regime like Iraq couldn't be allowed to stand in a post-9/11 world. Or in the words of Rumsfeld himself, hours after the towers fell, quote, "We need to bomb something else to show that we're big and strong and not going to be pushed around." Iraq and its leader was that something else.
Wow.
And now Bush and his advisors were looking at a plan to make it a reality. But how to start the war? Could they tie Saddam Hussein to something that Americans feared, like 9/11 or anthrax? Or could they tell a story about weapons of mass destruction? What other countries could they bring in to support their invasion? And of course, the most important consideration, Rumsfeld jots it here at the end, they would need an influence campaign. They would need to sell the war. And when should they begin? How about right away?
Iraq continues to flaunt its hostility toward America and to support terror.
3 months later, the president was telling the world that Iraq was one of a group of evil countries that the U.S. must oppose in the global fight against good and evil.
States like these constitute an axis of evil. The price of indifference would be catastrophic.
By the summer of 2002, this idea that Bush's advisors had scratched down after 9/11 was developing into an official policy. That handwritten influence campaign to sell the war was now in full swing.
There is no doubt that Saddam Hussein now has weapons of mass destruction.
The Iraqi regime has been free to pursue the development.
Talk about creating a narrative and fucking running with it. Look at this. Look at this.
None of this aged well.
No, and every single one of these people's going through with it. Like it's their job.
Yeah, I saw a report. It was, I think, just the president himself made like 243 inaccurate claims about weapons of mass destruction during this time.
Dude, listen to this.
They have weapons of mass destruction.
There is no doubt that Saddam Hussein now has weapons of mass destruction.
The Iraqi regime has been free to pursue the development of weapons of mass destruction.
We know they have weapons of mass destruction.
We know.
There isn't any debate about it.
And this is exactly what the head of MI6 told Prime Minister Tony Blair at his house in the summer of 2002 after meeting with the CIA in Washington. It's what we see in the Downing Street memo, that there was a perceptible shift in attitude in Washington, and that the U.S. invasion of Iraq was now seen as inevitable, and that they were now fixing intelligence around a decision that they had already made, and that the U.S. wasn't really planning to work with the UN. They didn't want weapons inspections or getting UN approval for military force. And crucially, the head of the MI6 tells the Prime Minister that these Bush people aren't really thinking much about the aftermath of such an invasion.
So true. There's a lot more where that came from. Guys, check out the whole video. It's spectacular. It's very well done by Johnny Harris. Great YouTube channel, great video specifically.
So the theory itself that you posed was, did they use the 9/11 attacks as a way to convince the country,
the nation,
that we should go to war,
to get behind two wars?
Yeah.
So it became, it was Al Qaeda. Al Qaeda lives in Afghanistan.
Right.
Now they've snuck over the border to Iraq. Not only have they snuck over the border to Iraq, Afghan soldiers are training, Iraq soldiers are training the Afghan terrorists, the Al Qaeda, to learn about gas and bombs, and teach them all this. And
so oof.
And all of it, nonsense. Not a word of it was from substantial facts. Not a word that they had was from substantial. The weapons of mass destruction, where are they today?
Right.
Did we ever find them?
No. We know for a
not.
fact that was all nonsense now. This many years later, it's all come to light.
McKenna! America.
But holy crap! Yeah. So I think that's a theory that sounds like it has a lot of it holds water.
Oh yeah,
We'll say
McKenna,
that.
it's my birthday, and I'm so glad that you showed up for my birthday episode.
Yes, McKenna, welcome back.
One of the OGs. And we got Diana, CTP, Chase Mack, of course. What did Chase say above that? And I want to hear what CTB said.
We already read Chase's.
Okay.
CTB said that didn't the administration fly the bin Laden family out of the U.S. right after 9/11?
So the administration did, yes. Yeah. You got to understand, though, bin Laden, as far as his family goes, was sort of like the Jared of his family. Like, not everybody loved him. No, I'm kidding.
No, he was, he was considered to be like a radical. He was
Absolutely.
his citizenship was rescinded from the Saudi government. So he was.
So a lot of his family didn't stand by him in his beliefs, his values, in anything he was doing. So
and the Saudis were friends with the administration and friendly, and we had business dealings with them. And so that, it was a favor to them, to the Saudis.
And that doesn't speak so poorly on the administration. A lot of stuff does, but not that specifically, only because he was a radical in that family.
Yeah.
I mean, flying them out on private CIA jets is fucking nuts.
No, I still think you should have talked to them. I think they should have been held for questioning and investigated. Well, we didn't know yet how to... Unless
so
we
much
did.
has changed
That's
since 9/11, dude. Yeah, so much has changed. That never would happen now. We would never fly the family out. But I think they're like, oh shit, we don't want you getting killed and attacked. Let's get you out of here.
We can't protect them from what, an angry
it's
mob?
Crazy. It's
no,
crazy.
I don't believe.
But also,
that.
this is a powerful family. There's a lot to it. There's nuance. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. I'm just saying I can understand where maybe some people could be like, okay,
maybe
I guess this makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess.
What
you got?
That's good because that leads directly into my next conspiracy theory on this was that the let's see, his family disowned him. Yeah,
exactly,
100%. But
smart audience we got here.
Yeah. Again, I'm not sure I would because there was no trial held. We didn't know exactly what happened yet. I would have waited. I don't think I would have just gotten rid of the connections to the one person that somehow we immediately knew was responsible.
Somehow.
The next conspiracy
like
theory,
Lee Harvey Oswald,
right, was that the intelligence community was involved somehow. That not only did they know about this, but they were complicit in these attacks. Yeah. Pretty much within 30 seconds of the second tower being hit, it was reported that Osama bin Laden, his name started showing up right away.
Oh yeah, ASAP.
They were using tons of people with big titles and former secretaries of this and that to come on these news shows, and that was the name everybody was using right away. It was almost as if they had a narrative ready to go. And who do we know that likes to do regime changes and stage false flags and is the CIA, right? That's what they're known for doing. That's what they love to do, and that's what they've been doing since they were pretty much since the inception of the agency. And all of that had come to light. There was congressional hearings in the 70s that brought a lot of that stuff to light, and they're not supposed to be doing it. There's been some FBI agents that have come forward in the years past that have said that they actually were watching a couple of the hijackers that lived in California. And they brought it to the CIA and said, hey, these guys are connected to Al-Qaeda. We know for a fact that they're training for some sort of attack, and that the CIA told them to stand down, that they were overstepping. So people surrounding this conspiracy think that points to the CIA having some involvement there. The hijackers have since... So since some of these whistleblowers had come forward, they've been talking about the Saudi government being a sponsor of this and somehow getting money to the hijackers. They were able to link payments from the Saudi ambassador from their office to some of these hijackers from the apartments they lived in to their day-to-day spending money, and that the CIA knew about this and that their goal... looking back on it, could have been that they were trying to turn them, that they wanted to get agents within, but we don't know. All we know is that the CIA was aware of some of these hijackers being in the country, and they told the FBI to stand down when they brought it forward. And the fact that Osama bin Laden was brought up immediately and that they already had a story to tell and an enemy to point at. Osama bin Laden didn't take responsibility for this attack until 3 years after it happened.
Yeah.
So imagine this is it. This is what you've been waiting for.
This is your baby. This is
This is your big attack. And it's not only successful, it's way more successful than you expected. You don't take credit for it.
Bullshit. Yeah.
Now, 3 years later, we've already invaded. The war's already going. There are more people lined up to join the cause, his cause, than ever.
Yeah.
Now, I guess, take responsibility. You're damned if you do, if you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
But at the time, he did not take responsibility for this.
Which is so
and Al Qaeda leaders even went on TV on Al Jazeera were saying he didn't do it.
Could you imagine if he didn't though? And he's like what? He's in his mansion, beautiful mansion, watching TV, and he's like, "Oh shit, man! America really got screwed on this one, man."
Right.
Pardon the accent, guys.
Right.
America really got screwed, man. This one's they really got fucked.
Yeah.
And it seems that it was. We're just getting news now. It was Al Qaeda's Osama bin Laden.
Yeah, they pretty much said that. But without knowing anything, without a trial, without evidence, they just said it's him.
What the fuck?
Yeah, he didn't even have to take credit for it. They just said you. That's interesting. So,
sir, do you want to take the Rolls Royce to the cave, or do you want to take the Lamborghini to your new cave where you're going to be living?
Good luck.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Fuck. That sucks so much. Dude, I literally had 70 virgins in this house right now, and now I gotta go live in cave.
Yeah,
but
Felicity was saying that one of the hijackers got their pilot's license from a flight school in Florida.
Yep, I heard that.
We knew that was going on. There was
sorry, we knew that.
No. I mean, the intelligence community knew about that. And since the start of the war in Afghanistan, the Pentagon has spent over $14 trillion. So the defense military-industrial complex, $14 trillion richer since this whole
And then what did the
catastrophe.
beautiful Diana say?
That's what she said.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, very.
So speaks to them.
Wow.
Again, there was a lot of talk of we need another Pearl Harbor. We need the people behind us. We need a way to go to war with, and we need Congress to be able to vote for it. Right. We need to be able to grow our power. We need to be able to grow the size of our military. Those are always the goals of the Defense Department and the intelligence community. So that's why there's a lot of conspiracy around them being complicit here, which is extremely sad if that's true.
It is. You know what's not sad, Jared?
What?
Is the news, baby!
There we go.
Who doesn't love the freaking news segment, man?
Man on the ground.
Man on the ground, sir. Are you there, sir? Man on the ground. Man on the ground.
I'm here. You want to know what's happening north, east, west, and south? Would be the news.
Great. We love when that happens.
Darth Nihilus News. That's the new news segment. How you like the new news?
Great. Hello there, sir. How are you?
Very good. Can you hear me?
We can now, thanks to not my software and hardware.
It's so weird.
So we're talking.
This internet stuff is interesting. One day they'll perfect it.
Yes.
Yeah, right. We're talking 9/11. We're talking this and that and the third. So, sir, what do you got for us, my man?
Well, I know it's a 9/11 show, but it also happens to be 9/12.
It is.
So I thought maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to talk a little about some of the great events in history on this day, September 12th.
It's not a bad idea.
Stop it.
It's not a bad idea.
So, hey, don't get carried away, dude. So, I'm going to go back to ancient times here. I'm going to kind of do this in a sequence. So, one of the big events, the Battle of Marathon, which took place in 490 BC. That's where the small Athenian force, and you'll remember this, defeats the Persian Empire.
Pretty cool.
Yes, of course.
490 BC. Anyway, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yes. Is that the 300? Is that what he's talking about?
I think it is, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thermopylae, baby.
300.
Thermopylae. So moving up to September 12th of 1624, amazingly, the first submarine publicly tested in London in the Thames River.
Oh, wow.
1624.
What? I didn't know that.
12th.
Just for my birthday?
Wait.
100 years later, 1787, American statesman George Mason asked for the Bill of Rights to be added to the Constitution.
That's pretty cool.
His motion was defeated.
Oh, shit. Damn.
Oh, that's so best.
You may remember this, 1792, on September 12th, the court-martial begins for the Mutiny on the Bounty.
Okay.
Mutiny on the Bounty means nothing to you guys?
No.
I have no idea what that
Very
is.
famous. There were 3 remakes of this movie, but okay, forget about that. Okay.
The Bounty was a warship?
They
or?
kept remaking it because it was so bad.
Yes, there's a mutiny.
Oh, sure, yeah, the Bounty on the World.
Well, if you've ever heard of Marlon Brando, you'll know about that movie. Anyhow, okay.
Oh, cool.
Moving forward, September 12th, 1909, an amazing day. The first patent for synthetic rubber is given to Fritz Hoffman.
What year?
1909.
Wow, okay. Synthetic rubber, right?
September 12th, 1935, Howard Hughes flies his own H-1 racer plane and sets a world record of 352 miles an hour.
Let's go!
That's cool, yeah. Especially being from Vegas.
Yeah, I knew me and Howard Hughes had a lot in common.
Hughes, man.
September 12th, 1958, the Supreme Court orders the all-white Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas to integrate.
Woo!
And
That's an
especially for
interesting
you,
date in
Cameron, in
history.
1964, the spaghetti western that started it all, A Fistful of Dollars,
A
premieres.
Fistful of Dollars by
Directed by
the
Sergio
great
Leone and
Sergio
starring
Leone.
Who? Starring who in his first leading role?
Clint Eastwood, motherfucker.
Wow.
Absolutely. 1964.
That's
Beautiful.
crazy.
Those aren't the only historic events. Let's take a look at some of the most famous people born on this day.
Ah.
Stop.
Are you ready?
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Henry Hudson, born in 1565. You know, they named the Hudson River after him.
Right.
Oh, yeah, little known river in
Little known river.
NYC, baby.
This one you get to, moving forward to 1818. A guy named Richard Jordan Gatling. Guess what he made?
The Gatling gun.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
Now,
The
you
Last
guys won't know
Samurai
this, but in
really
1888,
showed that.
on September 12th, Maurice Chevalier was born. Now, you may not remember him. I certainly do. He had a lot of famous songs. He was very well known for Thank Heaven for Little Girls. No, you don't know that one. Okay. Anyway, that's
Yeah, that doesn't play too well these days.
predates everybody. Okay. But it was very famous. Okay.
Yeah.
And this one,
Statutory.
I know you appreciate. Guess who was born on this day in 1951? The infamous Joe Pantoliano.
Yeah.
Joey Pants, really?
Yes, that's right. Yep.
That's dope. You know Joey Pantoliano? He's in The Matrix. He's in Sopranos. The Matrix, he plays...
yeah, give me
That's
The
right.
Matrix.
Yeah, I'll
Who
take
is
The
he?
Matrix
Don't you
over.
wish you just took the red pill? Anyway, whatever his
Oh,
He's
that
eating
guy.
the steak.
Cypher.
Cypher.
right.
Cypher, that's
Okay.
his name. Yeah,
I
thank you.
don't want to remember nothing.
Yeah, he's funny.
He's the best. Joey Pants?
The more
Yeah.
famous people born on this day, in 57, Hans Zimmer.
Oh,
Great
the beautiful
German
composer.
composer.
Of course.
He's done everything from
The Dark
Miami
Knight.
Vice, right, to Lion King and everything else.
The Dark Knight.
Nice.
Fucking his
Dark
magnum
Knight.
opus.
1966, the famous American singer and songwriter Ben Folds. You've
Oh,
heard of
Ben Folds 5. Love that band.
That's right.
That's his actual name?
Now, this is interesting. I didn't know it, but it seems to make sense. A guy named Louis Zekeli, or Louis C.K., was born
Oh,
in
no way.
1967.
Wow.
That's right.
We got the same birthday, me
That's
and Louis.
hilarious.
Not only you and Louis, but you and Paul Walker.
Oh, wow.
I knew that one. And me and 2 Chainz,
That's
too.
cool.
I was just going to say, 1972, 2 Chainz
Yeah.
was born.
There you
Yeah.
go.
That's right.
Oh,
And
the
of course,
dopest.
72,
the
wow.
absolutely most famous person ever born on September 12th, your host and mine, Cameron.
Yeah, there he is. That's a nice walk through history. A lot of good things happened on this date. This is crazy. The first submarine.
Your
Isn't
host
that
and mine.
crazy?
That's a sweet way to put it.
Well, you're back in 20 minutes ago, but yes, that's right. The first submarine.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Fuck submarines. Cameron was
Bill
born.
of Rights. No, this is a great day in history.
No, it really is. There's so much.
Yeah.
There's so much.
Wow. Who knew?
Submarine. Paul Walker. 2 Chainz.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking. What was the one we just said?
Yeah. Cypher.
Joey Pantoliano, baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, amazing.
So dope. What a good angle today, sir.
That's a good news segment.
Very much appreciated.
It's a good news segment.
But hey,
A few birthday
God,
jokes.
God knows, yeah, it wouldn't
Yeah.
be a fucking news segment without some goddamn jokes. So let's go, baby. What do we got? What do we got?
I got a few of them for you. First one, why do they put candles on top of a birthday cake?
Why is that?
it's hard to put him on the bottom.
That's good. I like that.
And it might be embarrassing, but if you were born in September, pretty safe to assume that your parents started the new year with a bang.
Oh, that's great. How funny.
Okay. So
or around Christmas.
Old guy celebrating his birthday. His grandson says, "You know what? I know he hasn't had sex in 30 years. He buys him a prostitute. Prostitute knocks at his door. He opens the door. She says, "Hi, my name is Missy." He says, "Yeah, sorry." Says, "I'm here to offer you super sex." And the old guy says, "I'll take the soup."
Soup or sex?
That's a good one.
That is good.
Oh, man.
Okay.
I'll take the soup.
Yeah.
Forget about the past. You can't change it. Forget about the future. You can't predict it. Forget about the present. I didn't get you one.
That's a good one. Those are good birthday jokes.
Those are fabulous.
Oh, my God.
All right, then.
Sir, thank you. That was the last one, right?
That was it.
Okay, I didn't want to
Thank
interrupt
you so
Sir,
much.
so freaking good.
Yeah.
Let's hear it for Les, ladies and gentlemen.
Especially with the topic, it's good to get some lighthearted stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We stayed away
Some
from the
good
9/11.
news.
We did
Yeah.
some funny birthday stuff. Sir, thank you so much, and we will see you next week for next week's
See you next
TPTNS. All right, sir. Have a good one. Thank you so much. Always
yeah.
a pleasure. Take care.
All news should
Thank
be
you so
this
much.
good.
That means the world.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I like this.
That was dope.
Yeah.
I can't believe that fucking didn't work again.
I know, that's so stupid.
So dumb. So obnoxious. But what a good segment. Guys,
Yeah.
we got a lot more coming. I'd actually argue that we got the best of the best
Yes.
coming up.
Now it's time to really get in there.
But
Let's figure this out.
real quick, the show's not over. I just wanted to say real quick, guys, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. It means the world. Guys, here's what we're doing. So check it out. Look at me in the eyes. Look at me close. Look at me seriously. So here's what we're doing. For my birthday, we're at a little over 700 subs. For my birthday, I'm going to put this out on TikTok and put this out everywhere. We want to get to 1,000 subs within the next, before the end of the month. So for my birthday, I really want to hit 1,000 subs. So tell your friends, share every video, share all the videos we have, share every short, every highlight, everything. 2 shows a week. We put a lot of time and a lot of effort into this. So it would be so cool if we could hit 1,000 subs, guys. And that's all I want for my birthday. That's all Cameron
I
wants.
like it. I think that's fair. That's a fair ask.
I think so. So
Yep.
guys, if you could, that would mean the world. And Jared, anything you want to say to the peeps?
No, thank you so far to the chat. You guys are the best and making the show so much more fun.
Always.
And now we're going to dive into some, let's get some answers and
Let's
hear
get
what you
some
guys think
answers.
about what we've come up with.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So, to start off, I mean, shit, I'll start off.
Do it.
So, we talked United 93.
Yep.
Right? And we said everybody saw this white plane.
Right.
And they're like, wait a minute, why is this white plane right around?
Right. The theory
where-
was someone shot it down, that it wasn't overtaken.
That it was shot down.
Yeah.
So, check it out.
To protect what was possibly the target, the White House.
Precisely right. Or the
Capitol building.
Capitol
Plane
building,
5 could have been the White House. Either or, they were
Who
headed
knows?
towards Washington,
Who
D.C.
knows,
metro
man?
area. That was the goal.
So, as far as the white plane they saw,
Yeah.
there was a white plane. There actually was, just like the testimony of all those people.
Okay.
But it was not a fighter jet. As a matter of fact, it was a small business plane. It was a small plane for
Yeah.
a small business, an apparel business specifically.
Oh.
And the FFA asked them if they would lower their altitude. Thank you, McKenna, for the happy birthday wish. You're the best. Thank you. She said soup and laughed. That was
Yeah,
funny.
that's
I think everybody liked the jokes. So they FAA said, can you survey the area and check for any living souls, whatever.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's why they saw that plane down there.
Oh, they were
and that's
helping
why it was
out.
lowered in altitude.
Yeah.
They were helping out. Look, and then they went straight back to Johnsville where they were going to land originally. But as far as the midair explosion, where was hit by a missile, the engine was not miles away.
Okay.
That's incorrect. In fact, it was discovered just about 300 yards from the main crash site.
Okay. Makes more sense.
Yep. And the Indian Lake,
Yeah.
where people were fishing out, which was 6 miles away, It was not 6 miles away. It was far less than 6 miles away. It was only about a mile
So
away.
this conspiracy theory was more embellishment, it
It's
sounds
embellishment.
like, to try and sell the idea that there's more to that.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so if the narrative is that it was hit by a missile, then that would mean the passengers did not take down the plane. But if you've seen the movie United 93, we have phone calls.
Oh, yeah.
And that's how they piece it all together.
Right.
So we know for a fact that there was phone calls originally, and I was going to play them, but they're so freaking sad.
You can't. It's too much. Yeah.
Tell them I love them. You know, I'm never going to see them. And I hope everything works out, but if I don't see them, I tell them I love them. Like, it's the saddest shit ever. Every phone call was just miserable.
Yeah.
But you go through, and it's a timeline, and that's how they made the movie United 93. They built the timeline based off these phone calls.
Heroes.
It starts off, hey, heroes. Hey, I love you. The plane's been hijacked. We're not sure what's happening.
Yeah.
And then the calls continue until, hey, me and a few other people, we're planning on taking over.
Yeah.
We're going to,
So
jump the
they had
hijackers.
gotten the news that the planes were being used as weapons at this time? Or,
Yeah.
So that's why they did it. They
Yeah.
knew. Heroes, like legit, real life.
$1,000,000%.
Heroes.
And so, to
That
what
is
we're
Captain
saying before,
America shit right there.
Oh, bro, straight up.
Yeah, I'm
How
taking it down.
yeah.
I'm not going to let this happen. I'm not letting it come to Washington,
Very
D.C.
Captain
It
America.
is Captain
yeah.
America.
It's going down
Yeah.
before it's hitting New
Exactly.
York,
Yeah.
or DC in this case.
I'm going to be late for that dance. Is
Yeah.
the phone call? Yeah.
Oh, they're all Captain Americas.
Yep.
In America,
Hell yeah.
indeed.
Yeah.
Shit, I forgot what I was going to say. About the jets being scrambled. So they did scramble jets, and it was, and you could talk to the pilots, like they're around.
Yeah.
They sent them, but the passengers were able to get the plane down beforehand. But they didn't have, like I said, missiles on them. They were literally, it was almost like a kamikaze mission.
Right.
They were just going to bump into it and try and steer it towards the ground.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's unfortunate, it's crazy, but
Yeah.
it beats it hitting in the white.
So those
into
guys
the
are
White
heroes
House.
too. They went up there
1,000,000%.
knowing we're gonna just
This
have
is
to
a suicide mission.
Yeah, take it down to
It
save.
was a suicide squad, but luckily there was heroes already.
Reminds
on
me
board.
of Air Force One. Remember where that
So good.
pilot flies
So
in
good.
front of the missile to stop it from hitting the Air Force One? Like,
so fucking good.
didn't even think about it.
So good. Nope.
Yep.
Oh, I forgot
That's
about
his
that
job.
scene.
Save,
I got
save the
chills.
president.
So
Yeah,
good.
I know.
What did Felicity say here?
They were the only passengers that knew what was going on through the phone
Yeah.
calls.
Yeah.
And they wanted to take it down in a rural area. So that's where they made
Yep.
their move when they did.
So in the movie,
Heroes.
like over the whole thing, they're like, so they're gonna try and crash this plane anyway.
Right.
Let's take these fuckers
Yeah,
down. They're not
let's
gonna.
stop
They're
this.
not gonna complete their mission.
Yep.
We're gonna fucking nip that in the bud, dude. God bless them. God bless 'em.
Hell yeah. So that theory does not hold water.
No.
That was not shot down.
No.
There were some Captain
There
Americas.
is there's
and
exactly
they
there's a
saved
bunch of
the
Captain
day.
Americas on the plane, and you
Yep.
can hear their beautiful voices as they talk through each step.
Yeah.
It's been hijacked to the point where we're taking this fucker down, and we're not letting them do this. So
I like that story.
yeah, so beautiful.
Yeah.
Jared, what do you got?
So we talked about the Pentagon
It was a missile, and
possibly
not a
being
plane.
hit by a missile.
Yeah.
The reasons they used for that was the hole wasn't big enough, and that there was not any plane wreckage, and that nobody saw the plane hit.
Actually hit. Yeah.
Actually, none of that's true.
None of that's true.
People saw the plane coming. The plane actually took out streetlights and a taxi. It ended up hitting the ground and sliding into the building, and there was wreckage everywhere. The FBI was on scene so quick that they cleaned up most of the wreckage very quickly before news crews even got there to start filming and trying to piece it together. It's the Pentagon. They were on it immediately. But you do see, and I have a video we can play that shows some of this evidence. And there are pictures, and we still have that evidence in custody today, the remnants of the plane that hit the Pentagon. So it was a plane. It was a successful hijacking attack. Was not a missile.
No,
and
sir.
I doubt that it was allowed to happen for embezzlement purposes, right?
Yeah.
It's just they had to make. I think the decision they were trying to make was: do we shoot it out of the sky and cause more damage to civilians, or do we allow it to hit the side of the building that we bolstered for terrorist attacks? Because it was the one side of the building that could withstand an explosion.
Which one were you here?
So this is 44 minutes and 40 seconds in. No, it's the it's a different video.
Yeah, just tell me.
Not this one. It's this one there. Yeah, first Tuesday.
And what's the name?
44 minutes and 40 seconds.
44:40?
Yeah, 44:40, and it should even say Pentagon on it. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, there, right there. That's fine.
Yeah, then I'll just go back 5 seconds.
So here we go.
Planes at the Pentagon.
So I like this because it gives us some. It gives us some pictures of the actual wreckage of the plane. So we know for a fact that a plane did hit.
The claim that there's no planes at the Pentagon. There are plane parts all over the Pentagon. They were just picked up pretty quickly because the FBI was.
So there's some right there.
Immediately.
Shit. Yeah.
Actually did a sweep of the landing or pictures of the sweep. As
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
Picking them up and collecting them. For
Could have been a lot worse, but shame.
The question is, were they planted by the FBI or were they removed by the FBI? Since you don't see them in later pictures. This is on the road.
So yeah, again, it hit the floor. It hit the ground before it hit the building. It didn't hit from midair.
Over here. And
okay.
It was a rocket that hit. Why is there?
Well, you could sort of see that in the video, even that shitty quality.
Oh yeah, that it slides right into it. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right.
Taking out these lamps, taking out the wings, which would make the hole smaller.
Absolutely.
Have survival stories.
Yeah, as opposed to 140 feet, 70 feet. Absolutely.
Tons of witnesses, like he's saying now, survival stories of people that saw the plane crash. And,
sorry, I was talking over it. Yeah.
Oh,
and there are plane parts found inside the Pentagon.
There you go. There's a wheel from the plane.
Shit, yeah.
Here.
Yeah, that's fucking plane wreckage. Sorry.
They even match up to a picture of the landing gear itself. Plane, showing that it is the, and we do have it, like I said, in custody. So the missile theory debunked for sure. And people did lose their lives in this hijacking. And it takes away from what happened that day, I think, to say that it was some sort of fake missile attack. So yeah, I think we can put this one to bed. There was wreckage on site. There were lampposts and taxis hit by the plane. There were tons of witnesses that survived on the ground from the plane hitting the ground. And the footage is just bad. You can't use the footage as a way to say that it was a missile, just as you can't use it to say it was a plane, because it's just not that great of footage. So instead, we use what we do have, and that's the wreckage in the building that they can match up to the actual plane that was taken, and you know, all the damage that was done to the street outside. Yeah. So yeah, I think we can put this one to bed.
I think we can put this bitch to bed also. Yeah. What is Chase saying in the chat, my guy?
He says, please keep this top tier content going. What is he saying? When this is unfortunate, when this is unfortunately over, I'm going back to rewatch the other episodes.
Dude,
that's very kind of you, man.
What a fucking stud.
Yeah.
What a stud.
Chase loves the content, man. We appreciate you.
Appreciate you, brother. The only thing we're missing today is Given Life. We got McKenna. We got Felicity. We got everybody.
We got a lot of the usual suspects.
Yeah, missing our boy Given Life.
Yep.
Same. I missed the beginning. Oh, it's all good. You could rewatch and then watch.
Don't worry.
Episodes, bro.
And we're going to talk about a lot of the stuff we talked about in the beginning as we go through and get some real answers here.
Jared, you are right.
Yep.
So okay, the Pentagon attack wasn't a missile. I think like you said, we could put that to bed. That was a plane.
Let's put that to bed.
They showed the wreckage. They showed the landing gear.
Yep. I mean, and the only evidence that they have is that footage, but the footage doesn't show a missile. It shows nothing. It shows evidence.
A white thing, and then So
we have to use what we have, and the evidence shows it was.
But guys, we're not telling you how to think or what to think. If you think this is all bullshit, you think that was absolutely looked like a missile, and that they're just trying to cover. Whatever you think is what you think.
Right.
And God bless you. Good on you. But we're just showing you both sides of an argument, and you decide what you want.
Yeah.
But my Pentagon one was it was the attack just to cover up embezzlement.
Right.
And the answer is yes. No. So the Pentagon did not report $2.3 trillion missing on September 10th, 2001.
Okay.
So accounting entries, and guys, this is a little mumbo jumbo, inside baseball sounding ish stuff, but bear with me here. So accounting entries totaling that amount that lacked adequate audit trails. I also don't know how to read apparently. Who detailed in government records, news reports, and in official testimonies long before 9/10. 2001.
Right.
So A February 2000 report from the DoD, Department of Defense, identified $2.3 trillion in accounting entries for the fiscal year of 1999 that, quote, were not supported by adequate audit trails or sufficient evidence to determine the validity.
Right.
Also, the reports that many of these entries resulted from inadequate reviews and reconciliations.
Yeah.
So Rumsfeld mentioned this during a speech at the Pentagon on September 10th, 2001.
Right.
But when he spoke about bureaucracy in the Department of Defense and announced measures to cut red tape.
Yeah.
Rumsfeld said our financial systems are decades old. According to some estimates, we cannot track $2.3 million in transactions. We cannot share information from floor to floor in this building because it's stored in dozens of technological systems that are inaccessible and incompatible.
Okay.
So it's sort of like an updating to.
So the two have nothing to do with each other. This is something that was already a well-known issue,
100%.
and that he was talking about. There's more. The red tape was the issue, and it's not like this was a reaction to that speech.
Exactly
this
right.
This was already out there.
Exactly right.
Makes sense.
I should have wrote that. It's funny. I said I couldn't find a perfect answer, a perfect way to say this, but you said it in a very apt way.
Yeah.
So he didn't just come out and say $2.3 million is missing. Oh shit! The Pentagon hit the exact part where. So that's not what happened.
Okay.
So we could sort of put that one to bed.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like that was an embezzlement cover-up. The Pentagon attack.
No.
Yeah.
But you know what's curious to me is that the owner of the World Trade Center knew the attack was impending. And you sort of mentioned that before.
Yep.
So is there any evidence to say the contrary?
Honestly, this is one that I mean, you can't really disprove.
Really?
There's no, because, so his wife said that he did need an emergency appointment that day and that she made it for him. But that's really it. Without knowing more, and they're not willing to really come out and say more than that, then it just was happenstance, and he was a lucky guy. He felt the need to rebuild the towers, and so this is something. Even though there's a conspiracy, he knew about it and did it for insurance purposes.
Yeah.
I have no evidence to disprove that he knew about it. I just don't.
How can you disprove what somebody knows or didn't know at the time?
Whether or not they needed a doctor's appointment that day or
exactly,
not.
right?
I can't,
Yeah. Real quick, you want to read what Diana said here?
She said that she saw that the Pentagon aftermath, end of September, and the locals speaking about the plane. So it was really eerie, she says.
Wow.
So there's more evidence to the fact that there was plane wreckage there,
absolutely.
and that locals had seen it.
So so about the owner, Wild. So continuing on, one of my favorite parts was the World Trade Center was a controlled demolition.
Yeah.
So I thought this for years, just because the way it looks, right?
Yeah.
It's like, how could it not be? Just look at how it falls, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, so many people point to mysterious puffs of smoke, like I showed before.
Yeah.
That were emanating from each of the floors. And let me put that up again for you guys. So this is just sad. So those aren't columns that were exploding before the building collapsed.
Yeah.
Those are people busting open windows so they can get air.
Right.
For ventilation because they were suffocating in there. Not the greatest answer in the world, but I'm sorry, that's just the truth. And they were just suffocating.
Right.
So they popped open a bunch of windows, and it's not columns of smoke because it's a controlled demolition where they're going off one by one. But that's just the information I've gathered.
Yeah.
Also, in addition to that, when the buildings fell, it looked like a controlled demolition considering it fell straight down, right?
Yeah.
Just a vertical.
Yeah.
And as controlled demolitions do, as like you said, growing up in Vegas, you've seen, people also say there's no way jet fuel could have melted the steel beams that supported the structure. So that's actually not entirely true. And I'll show you right here how what I mean by that. So we got the videos a little out of order there, and that was my fault. But or did we not? I guess we had it. that's it. Redacted. This is it. And you said at 29:35. No, that's not it. Oh, here it is. Got it. Sorry, folks. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions around the way the towers fell.
How did these get so out of order?
to
Remember,
me.
I spent so many hours putting this fucking thing together.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Whew, found it. All right, so timestamp 30 to 131. Sorry about the wait, guys. All right, here we go.
Okay.
This is such a good video.
So here are the 5 most common conspiracy theories debunked, hopefully forever. Number 1, jet fuel can't melt steel beams.
It's a freaking noodle. Your argument is invalid. Get over it. Find a job.
This is the most common conspiracy theory.
That's funny.
So much so that it's essentially become a meme these days. And like a
Yeah.
lot of memes, it's nonsense. No, jet fuel cannot melt steel beams. Jet fuel burns up to 1500 degrees Fahrenheit, while steel melts at around 2500 degrees. However, steel does begin to lose strength at around 600 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right.
And with the weight above the
That's all it
impact
takes.
point on the North Tower similar to that of the Titanic, the weakened steel simply could not hold, and the tower collapsed.
And
Number 2, controlled explosions. When the towers collapsed, many commented that the destruction looked similar to that of a controlled demolition.
Yeah.
This added fuel to many conspiracy theories. However, modeling has proven this inaccurate. Research by Purdue University and Dr. Frank Greening showed that with the way the fuel spread on impact, and with the weight transfer from the building above the impact site, the building would indeed fall almost entirely vertically. Number 3,
wild.
So what do you make of all of the on-the-ground testimony of, and we watched some earlier, of these folks saying that they saw explosions on each of the floors, and they do.
So I was thinking about that.
Okay.
And before and while you were talking about it, so I think the simplest answer is the most obvious answer, and I think is the right answer. I think it was mayhem. People were, didn't know what they were seeing or what was specifically going on. So when you see stuff like that, you make assumptions, right? So I think it was just a building falling, and they're hearing popping noises. It could have been as simple as before the buildings were even falling, it was people breaking windows, or it was even the sound of the steel collapsing in on itself.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be controlled explosions to be to even sound like an explosion.
Trust me, I don't know if there's more to this or not.
Sure.
But I don't know if there's enough to debunk it. There's 150 so first responder witnesses that say they heard explosions that sounded like charges going off as the buildings were
Still
coming down.
looking at the videos.
Yeah.
It looks like a controlled demolition.
Again, the top to the 12 floors above would have to be enough weight to collapse the entire 90 floors below it.
Yeah.
Is that possible? They say
Considering that the jet fuel, it doesn't have to be 2,500 degrees. All it has to be is 600 degrees
I'm
Fahrenheit
just talking about weight.
to start. Well, listen, to start warping the metal.
But it only
so if you
warped
warp
6
the metal,
floors, right? The 90 floors below weren't melting.
But then you warp those 6 floors.
Right.
You add the floors above.
Right.
With the weight.
But you got 90 more below it.
Keeps going, right?
No, I don't know.
When would it
That,
stop?
to me,
I don't know.
So you got 12.
Would it only crush 20 floors?
That's what I think they thought would happen.
That's what makes sense in my brain.
Right. That's why this theory is so compelling.
Oh, yeah.
Engineers that have been shown the videos, and engineers that were on site that day, and reports of people that were there that day say this was a part
Controlled
of the terror
explosion.
attack.
Yeah.
They not only did they run planes into the towers, they brought them down.
Yep.
That it wasn't just the planes hitting the towers that brought them down. But why? Was that part of Al Qaeda's plan? People think it was like this inside job. I know that there's that theory, and that charges were. So let's take the inside job out of it. Was this a 2-tiered attack? The planes hit, and they were charges or some sort of explosives. There's so many people that said they heard explosions that day as the towers were coming down.
Some of the things are nobody who worked in the buildings prior said that they. Granted, a lot of them passed. Not
Yeah.
It's unfortunately almost 3,000 people, but nobody saw people planting charges or doing any of that prior. Right? There was no evidence of that. So you would have to go and plant charges and do it secretly, and it would take a lot of fucking time and effort.
That's the
and nobody
theory,
saw anyone doing that.
Yeah, could you do it though? Probably. I think if it's a
at night,
state-sponsored act.
Yeah. These fucking offices close at 6 p.m. Maybe some people stay there at 10 p.m.
Renovation
You do that shit at 4 a.m. with the security.
crews. Yeah, security
And you work there. You go on a floor. You go up fucking 20 floors. They won't know the difference. So yeah, it's possible. Is it impossible? No. Is it? It's very possible.
It's just hard. It was hard for me. I don't, because again, I'm not saying inside job. That's its own theory. I'm saying, is it possible that the planes that hit these towers in different spots? It's not like it was this perfect. One tower got hit a specific way that caused it to specifically fall because of this or that. There's so many variables that make these two crashes different.
Oh, dude!
But both had the same results.
So weird.
That's strange. And
that's a great freaking point, too.
That's the problem.
2 buildings hit in 2 different places. Yeah. Structurally very similar.
Yeah.
Granted. But hit in 2 very different places.
Yep.
And they both
have the exact same result.
At like the
and
same
everyone's,
time.
all the engineers said, in order to take a building down that way, you've got to be able to weaken it from the bottom.
Of course. Well, that's physics. That's mechanics.
We know that. So that's why there were so many theories that there had to be bombs. I know after the fact, people said they found thermite in the wreckage.
Which is so curious.
It's curious. Some people say it was used to cut people free or to try to get rid of the wreckage. That's why
I was going to ask, what uses thermite that could be there? That makes a lot of sense.
That's why
cutting people
wreckage.
free. That makes a lot of fucking sense.
But the wreckage was never analyzed. It was all shipped off and sold. Immediately.
Which is so weird also.
Yeah. So there was no trial.
Weird.
They weren't using it as evidence. They were just taking
it's
it
like
and shipping it.
it's like the fucking JFK. I hate to bring it back to this, but it's like the JFK convertible. They wipe it down and shit. Like who does that?
Yeah.
This is a crime scene.
Yeah.
It's insane.
It's a crime scene for sure.
What is Felicity saying?
Felicity says that there's engineers on both sides. That she's heard from engineers that say that this
As
is...
did I in my research.
So did I. So it's hard. So you've got people saying 2 different things. So here's what I've heard. In order for that to happen, in order for these 12 floors...
She said... I'm so sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I just want to say real quick. She said they even make models of it and the same result every time.
The company hired to look into it, state-sponsored.
Well, Purdue University is the one that I was looking at, where it showed why it would collapse, how it would collapse, how the jet fuel would... But anyway, you were saying, I'm so sorry.
So in order for it to work, those 12 floors would have to hit at such a force that it would force the rest of those 90 floors down. But when you watch the collapse, there is no strike of force.
But let me ask you this.
It's just a free fall.
So
that's why it's hard.
How many floors...
to debunk.
And I don't know this, but... some scientists in Africa will have to, tell you this. But how many floors would it have to destroy or, take away the integrity of the floor?
Right.
How many floors would it have to take out to destroy the floors beneath it? So if if 20 floors can destroy 20 more floors, can those 40 floors destroy 80 floors? Like,
that's the question. And would it look that
and
that?
Would that clean?
Would it look and
Not
would
to
it
call
fall
it
into
clean,
its own
but
footprint?
you know what I mean.
Right. I don't know. Again, because I looked at both sides of it, I wasn't able to 100% say that it was just the planes that caused the collapse. I can't say it wasn't.
There's another
one
one
of those questions
that I have in here that we went over already, where I can't disprove.
Yeah,
I can't. I was looking for the facts on both sides, and I just couldn't find many facts for the other. But anyway,
confusion is a great one. I know, like you said earlier. But again, 150 plus first responders,
a lot of people, man.
all giving testimony it's all public, testimony that they heard controlled explosions as the building was going down, that they gave testimony that bombs brought the towers down. They thought that they were telling the story to the authorities. This is what happened. They bombed it. Yeah. They didn't know that
they didn't
wasn't
have a narrative.
Exactly.
They didn't,
That's not the official story.
Yeah.
They were just telling what they heard and saw, and what they were there that day to help. So there's over 150 of those witnesses, and we use eyewitnesses for putting people in jail for the rest of their lives.
Absolutely.
So you can't discount eyewitness testimony. You can't say it doesn't count. And you can have engineers on both sides, just like you have expert witnesses on both sides.
Yeah.
So this is one where, as much as there is a way to say that it could have happened this way, and that might have been what it is.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's 100% proven. I don't know if we've done enough to prove that.
Speaking of,
that's what it was.
I want to know, Building 7. How the did that fucking fall down?
Yeah, 7's interesting. Same kind of thing. I actually have a video where they explain it pretty well, so I'll let this guy tell the story.
What's it called?
It's the same video that we were on before.
Oh yeah.
It's just a different timestamp. So this was fires, just like the towers, that degraded the integrity of these central beams, and that from the inside you could literally see how it would have pulled the building down from the center, making it look like a controlled explosion. Again, it fell at free fall. None of the other buildings had this issue, and the whole pull it thing from the owner, that's being said as pull the guys out of there. Like it's too late.
Is it this
The
one?
building can't be saved. Yeah.
What's the
timestamp? Is 4636. So the whole pull it thing, people are saying that was him saying pull your guys out. There's no way to save this building. Like
4636.
Yeah.
I actually heard a different theory about that.
Well, that's what the owner says he meant.
No, well, I heard, and I might be wrong, but I heard that he was playing Bop It, and
That'd be so
he
silly.
bopped it and twisted it then
During
pull
this
it.
catastrophe. Yeah,
that's what I heard.
He's on the phone, and that's what they heard. And they go, okay, well, get the guys out of there.
Yeah.
He said pull it.
He also said bop it and twist it, but I heard pull it.
So this is a great argument towards how Building 7 may have been the only one to come down from the damage.
Falling. So building 1 and 2 collapsed, and then 6 or 7 hours later, building 7 collapsed. You can see that it is within the radius of damage. People say, was that enough damage to bring down building 7? You can see here, as the building is collapsing, that some of the debris is going around and past building 7. So there was damage to the building. Nobody doubts that. There's actually a YouTube video of a cameraman who's wandering through the building in the hours between the towers collapsing and building 7 collapsing. You can actually see the innards of the building, and it's vacant. It's gutted down below. And it does enough damage to some of the tiers that you can actually see that some of the structural damage may have been caused by the heat of the generators down below. There were 42,000 gallons of diesel fuel.
Tons of fuel.
Generators stored below the world.
So this actually did have some accelerant in it, this building.
No way.
A ton of accelerant.
Structural integrity of the building causing it to collapse.
That's how they knew it was going to collapse hours before it did.
Okay, that makes fucking sense.
Yeah.
Perhaps around 1,100
hours
degrees Fahrenheit. May have burned around 570 degrees Fahrenheit, and that could be enough to cause the steel girders to expand.
Take 600 for it to start
and
bending.
if the girders do expand, their bolts are going to become loosened.
Yep.
If they become loose enough, it can cause them to lose their strength, collapse, and then the weight of the building
Similar to
will be gutted. And
Trade
you can
Center.
actually watch it as you see the building fall.
Little
Most of
different
the
though, because
conspiracy
this
No,
was
the
most of
accelerant.
the
No,
building.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying as far as you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
As far as it doesn't have to be
Most of this building was burning.
2,500 degrees.
Right. Yeah. As far as the girders. Yeah.
Away from the World Trade Center, looking into the World Trade Center's complex. But if you watch the collapse from the inside, you can actually see the divot that's causing the collapse. This is the column.
So the center of it lost its integrity and pulled the rest of the building in on itself. So that's why it has that free fall look to it, and why it comes down in its own footprint as if it was a controlled explosion.
See, this makes more sense than the Twin Towers, actually.
It does, yeah.
Is there more to it? I'm sorry.
I think that I explained it well enough, and he explained it as well. So
that was a man or a woman?
Yeah, that was a guy. So there's tons of fires, tons of damage on the building already. The fires burned for hours, and the fire department couldn't put these fires out. There was tons of accelerant, making it even worse. Structurally, the beam started to expand, and it started to loosen. And the center actually brought the entire building down. They had an engineer come out about 4 hours before it collapsed and showed them what was going on with the building. And he said, you have about 3 or 4 hours. The building's coming in on itself.
Oh, fuck.
So not a conspiracy as much as structurally, an engineer looked at the state of the building. He saw what was going on and knew that based on the damage being done, it was coming down. Nothing you could do about it. And eventually the owner says, get the guys out of there. It's over. And so they kind of just wait. They even tell people to clear out. Guys, this building's coming down next. Get out of the way. And we almost sit there and wait until it does. So this was a predicted fall. Some people say it was predicted because it's a conspiracy. But the engineers that were involved and all of this evidence that we looked at just now more shows a story of fires and debris pulling the center of the building in on itself. And
real quick, guys, I just looked and
that.
It says everybody watching. Yeah. That's that.
Yeah.
But real quick, it said everybody watching is not liked the video. So I know there's some of you that are watching this right now that haven't liked that video. So like this video right now, guys. Thank you so much. But so
yeah.
What else we got?
So
I could just look, I guess.
Yeah, it's up to you on the next one.
So the attacks helped the nation get behind the war in Afghanistan and Iraq.
Should we push that to the end?
Well, it's real easy.
Okay, go for it.
The video I showed, I can't find anything.
There's no
disproves
debunking that. We know
all.
that that's true. We saw that. We just saw the paperwork. Yeah, the receipts.
We literally saw the fucking receipts.
So whether or not that doesn't mean they were involved. It doesn't mean that this was an inside job. This all it's saying
is that did they leverage?
Yeah.
The use or the fact that 9/11 happened.
Right.
Did they leverage that to go to war in Afghanistan and Iraq? Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
So I talked about intelligence being the intelligence community being involved. So it kind of goes to that same. So they love getting more money, getting more power. As soon as 9/11 happens.
So I think we could just go to the final right now, right?
I'm getting to that. So
okay, yeah.
The intelligence community being involved. So the Bush administration received 7 warnings from the CIA that Al Qaeda was planning this attack. The specifics of it, they knew a lot of the specifics. So to say the CIA specifically was behind this or let it happen, again, they provided 7 briefings around this guy, around this group, around this type of attack, and said, we need to be worried about this. And at the highest levels, they were ignored. So there's that. So it's hard to say, were they involved? They were trying to warn. So was the FBI. They were trying to warn against this attack, and they weren't getting the support that they needed to try and thwart it. They weren't getting the manpower. They weren't getting the money. They weren't getting the attention. It wasn't being put here. So there's that. So could the CIA be involved? Not the entire CIA, right? There's always, could there be some rogue element that wanted this to happen for money-making purposes? We've seen stuff like that before. We've talked about things like that on other episodes. But in this specific case, I doubt it. I doubt the CIA was directly involved. Why did they tell the FBI to stand down on the hijackers they were looking into? Most likely because they were working them and trying to turn them or trying to make them assets. They didn't know that they would go on to be part of this, this huge attack. There is an open question here, though. So the Patriot Act, they wanted to push this through.
Patriot Act.
They wanted to push it through very quickly. And there were a couple Democratic senators that were against it. Just so happens that those are the 2 senators that get anthrax letters. So the only people that are holding up the Patriot Act passing get letters that have anthrax in them. The anthrax analyzed by the FBI had later come to light that it came from a U.S. military complex, that anthrax came from us. They later identified a person and said there's this one rogue crazy guy and he's behind it and he's the reason that this happened. But they were first trying to tie anthrax to the hijackers. So once that didn't work, it looks like they shifted blame to what looked to be a rogue crazy guy, as we've seen in maybe the JFK assassination or the RFK assassination or the MLK assassination. There's several of these stories where they're trying to pull something off and they blame it on some patsy. A lot of folks think that this guy was a patsy here, that they were trying to use the anthrax as a way to internally as a way to scare people into giving up civil freedoms.
Tactics.
The Patriot Act gave up a lot of civil freedoms, and it made the intelligence community so much more powerful.
Dude, the 9/11, the government leveraged in a lot of ways to scare the public into wanting to go to war. Because there was a point where 70% over 70% of the country believed in the war in Iraq.
Right.
And then 50% of those people believed. There's another statistic that just erased from my brain hole. But so 70% believed that we should go to the war in Iraq, and 50% believed. Damn it! We were just talking about it, and I forgot. What was it? We were just talking about.
I was talking about the anthrax attacks. So I was talking about the lone gunman theories that they use. Who
cares? Anyway, they convinced the nation to be behind all this shit.
Going to war. The Patriot Act got through. Then from there, they said, what else could we have done that would have prevented this? Yeah. So now that we have the Patriot Act, what else can we do? Yeah. And we know we had a whistleblower.
No, 50% of that 70% believed in the Patriot Act.
So,
crazy.
Yeah, and we know what they used that Patriot Act for. Yeah. We had a whistleblower who still lives in Russia who told us that they used it to spy on America.
Eddie Snowden.
They didn't just use it to spy on our enemies, that they used it to spy on American citizens. It gives them a lot of power. Yeah. And they were able to pass that. Something as extensive as the Patriot Act, that should have taken a long time. It didn't. It took weeks to get that passed.
So all right, we got some shit in the chat going off. So Felicity said, subject have debunked that theory. Yeah, they even made models. Yeah. Also, I've heard the explosions you can hear in all the video, in all the footage. Yeah. They say it's gas lines in the building. Yeah. Chase said, Def leveraged it to go to war.
Oh, yeah.
The government eventually had no evidence of these countries having WMDs.
Right.
Which is facts.
Yeah.
Then Felicity said, why plan...
So as a controlled demolition if it's an inside job. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, right.
I don't think this was an inside job.
Then Chase said...
That's a huge conspiracy tied to this.
Yeah.
If
possible.
anything, it would be a two-tiered plan.
Sure.
It would be bombs and the planes.
And,
again, I couldn't find enough evidence to tie our intelligence community or any weird rogue U.S. element to this, but I could find evidence to the idea that they were using it to leverage Congress to declare war, to pass the Patriot Act, and to give them more money and more power to the intelligence community and the Department of Defense.
Chase said the CIA director at the time just admitted it not too long ago. Just admitted
that they leveraged this. I have a video actually of a gentleman telling right after 9/11 they had a whole plan of what they were going to do. They didn't say let's go get Al Qaeda.
Yeah,
that wasn't the plan. And I have that video. He'll tell you what the plan was as soon as these attacks happened.
Yeah,
it was not go get Al Qaeda. That was not the plan.
Yeah. So do you want to jump into this quick segment?
Sure.
Yeah. Is that a no from you?
Yeah. Do we have time?
Yeah, we got time.
Okay.
We got time. Just real quick, I thought it'd be fun. Or do you want to save it? It's up to you, brother. It's up to you.
We could put more time into it if we save it.
Let's save it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'll give them a hint, but they won't be able to see it for very long. Ready? That was your hint, guys. Was this a planned attack? Did America have anything to do with planning this attack?
So I think based on if you're asking me,
I'm asking you.
Based on the evidence that we just looked at, I don't think we internally had anything to do with it. I think we tried to stop it. I think our intelligence community was so scattered that they didn't have the ability, and they weren't talking to each other, and they weren't sharing information.
But we do have evidence that other governments and our government was told that there might be an impending attack, even from airplanes. From Al Qaeda, from Osama bin Laden
in September. I mean,
like it
they
was
got
very
pretty
specific.
granular.
Yeah.
And it was ignored.
So is this negligence or is this actually?
Yeah, there's a lot of
evil on the part of the U.S. government.
I think there's a lot of documentation that shows negligence. I don't think that it shows complicity.
I think it's negligence.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah. So, guys, everybody in the chat, I would love to know what the hell you guys are thinking.
Yeah.
Is this negligence? Is this just, hey,
are we missing something?
Or,
are there facts that we're missing here that point us in a different direction? Let us know.
Yeah.
Put those in the comments. I'd love to know if we're missing some big pieces to this puzzle that would help solve it.
Or is this just, is this just the American government being like, screw it, we want to go to war? Dick Cheney, Halliburton will get his company to blow everything up and then rebuild everything.
Dude, Bush used it as a way to get reelected, and he's the one who ignored the briefings showing that it was going to happen.
Hey, this is going to happen. Buddy.
But the war itself was a great.
What about his reaction to after he got told the news?
Yeah, I know.
He kept reading a fucking child's book.
Yeah, that's he
an
went
odd
on to
reaction.
Explain that.
That's an odd reaction. I don't care who
It
you are.
is.
And granted, he's not the smartest man in the world. We all know that. And not saying red or blue or who gives a fuck.
Yeah.
I'm saying he's clearly not the smartest man alive. I mean, would I have a beer with him? Fucking A right. But not the guy I think should be president. But to hear the information, hey, sir, Mr. President, the country is under attack.
Right.
And you sit there and you continue reading fucking Redfoot, Bluefoot, Greenfoot, whatever he was reading.
I don't think I think he just had no idea what to do.
So what does this speak more to? Complicit, being complicit, involved, and like, oh shit, how do I react? Or just foolishness where, I don't know.
If this was a planned
damn, that sucks.
false flag attack, he would not be involved. I guarantee he would not be right in on this. This would not have anything to do with him at all. They would never let him in on this.
They'd know better than to let him.
Right. The elements that do these regime changes, as we've seen, they're so compartmentalized.
Dick Cheney, would he have known? 1,000,000%, I believe.
To use
if
his
he
resources.
Didn't fucking plan it himself. Shit.
Yeah, he had the resources, right?
Just the stuff Rumsfeld, Rumsfeld and Cheney and their ties. Dude, those two alone had so much to gain.
Yeah, if we look back 20 years later at who gained from all this, it was the intelligence community, the Department of Defense, and the companies involved in both selling the weapons and rebuilding the areas that we destroyed with those weapons.
Yeah.
But does that speak to complicity? Again, there's not enough evidence, at least that I could find, to show that that's what happened. So asking me, I think it was a terrorist attack that had way more impact than they expected to have, and it changed the world forever. Then did the government use it as a way to get support for endless wars and money for the Defense Department? We know for a fact that's exactly what they used it for, and they did it with no evidence. So. I think all of that's come to light in the past 20 years. We have enough. We've got the receipts to show that. So,
yeah. What did Felice just say?
Just saw the video of Bush being told in a documentary.
Oh, it's such a trip.
Yeah, and I think it was just not knowing how to handle it. 100%. I agree with that.
Yeah.
He let the kids finish the couple sentences in the book, thanked them, and then got out of there. I think he truly was in that moment like, oh, I really hope I've got the right people in place to do something about this.
Yeah,
because I'm not sure what to do.
He should have been like, all right, kids, I'm so sorry. I got to leave you. Thank you so much. Enjoy the book. Keep reading. Stay in school. Love you guys or whatever. I'll see you guys.
Like I have
Get
the
the
president has some presidential things to take care of.
He doesn't have to say a word, really. I mean, it'd be polite and nice, but have one of his guys. The president has matters to attend to. So sorry, children. We'll make sure we.
Who knows?
Come
back.
I
mean, history looks back on some of these moments like eek.
Eek. Oh yeah, a lot of these moments like eek. And then Felice said, jumping up and
running out of there would be a weird move too.
Yeah, of course.
And you don't want to scare the kids.
What the fuck? That'd be the greatest.
We're under attack.
Yeah. people are attacking America. Your fucking parents are probably dead. No, yeah, that's not the best idea.
Could you imagine?
Yeah, he goes
Oh my
so
goodness.
overboard.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So yeah, asking. So that's my opinion. What about you? What did all this teach you?
Oh, I don't learn. No, I'm kidding. What did all this teach me? I think. I used to think, oh my God, inside job, obviously, duh. But now I'm not too sure. I think it's still very possible. I think, like I said, Cheney and Rumsfeld had a lot to gain, and I'm sure there's a lot of people with hands in their pockets that wanted to gain shit, right?
And there's still more documents coming to light every year. There's more witnesses coming forward every day. There's feds that worked on Operation Encore that are in court literally right now. There's documents being redacted and released with testimony about connections from this to that, and it just gets deeper and deeper.
The deep state.
It's weird. There's a lot of weird stuff here, but I think we answered a lot of the big questions that have been lingering for the past 20 years, so I'm glad we did that.
Yeah.
But there are still some unanswered questions, unfortunately.
This is a comedy podcast, though, and I feel like we skipped a little bit out on the comedy.
Well, this, knowing the subject matter, I think it's still interesting, if anything, to go through these and really see which, over this much time, what holds water after all this time.
Yeah.
And what can we prove?
So for the end, let's try and do something funny. Let's do a birthday thing, or ask me questions or something. Let's do something real quick before we sign off here.
Okay. Examples?
Go for it. Whatever you
no
think.
freaking idea.
what was your favorite birthday? What did you do? How many?
I'm not a birthday person.
Well, you ask me this.
Yeah.
This is my
So
birthday.
yeah, go ahead. Anything birthday related that you'd like to talk
Ask
about?
me a question, buddy. Come
Yeah,
on.
I did.
Ask me
any
anything.
birthday
Ask me
thing
anything.
related that it was interesting? Or
No. Next.
What else is there? Oh, I saw Aquaman 2's coming out. You interested in that?
No. No.
I am. That's gonna be good. I watched The Flash again too. I really like that movie.
I watched it again too. I hate it.
I love
It's
it. The
so
more
bad.
I watch it, the more
You
I
really
like
love
it.
that movie?
Dude, Batman's so freaking great in that
Okay,
movie.
take
man.
away Batman because he's the only cool part. Just
He's
because you're
the
nostalgic
best
about
part.
it.
No, he just kills
Jared,
it.
listen to me, please.
Okay.
Listen to me, please, right
Yeah.
now. Because
Such a good movie.
Michael Domino, what up? Oh, thank you for the happy birthday wishes. You're the sweetest. I love you so much. You're the best. So, real quick, here's why the movie's the biggest piece of shit. Best birthday story, Cameron. My best birthday story. Can I tell you what? Honestly, my best birthday story. Oh, that was fun. But the one that's coming to mind was my Dirty 30.
Okay.
It was my. You weren't there, but most of my family was all there.
Yeah.
And what did she say? The Bday parties that stand out for either of you. So yeah, for me, so it was my Dirty 30.
Okay.
So me and my girlfriend at the time, she like helped throw the party with my parents. They each threw like a part of the party.
Yeah.
We did karaoke. It was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
I did get drunk and sort of hit on my girlfriend's friend. But that's not a big deal. Yeah,
that's
it was a very
bad.
dumb
So
move.
dumb.
But her girlfriend was so hot. Her friend was so hot.
Still no excuse.
I know, but she was so hot. But yeah, I know douchebaggery.
Yeah.
But yeah, I lied to her. I'm like, you're gonna believe that cunt? No, I didn't.
Oh,
but no, I didn't. But
jeez.
So yeah, no, it was so much fun. We had our own little room, and it was all of us. It was my girl and her friends.
Yeah.
One of them being real hot. And it was my fam, and there was a bunch of mics, and they all glowed, and then there was this one like golden mic, and it like changed your voice. It was sort of like
one of these things,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not really, just like reverb.
Okay.
I'm all shook up.
I didn't sing Elvis, but I sang Forgot About Dre.
Yeah.
That's like my go-to. Nowadays, everybody
wow.
don't talk. They got something to say,
Interesting.
but nothing comes out when they move the lips. Just a bunch of gibberish.
I would never expect that. That's funny.
So what do you say to somebody you hate or anyone trying to bring trouble your way? Yeah, it's very fun. But so yeah, that was a blast. Then we went back to the crib.
Yep.
We went gambling. It was
Yep.
good stuff. Best birthday memory.
Shoot, like I said, I'm not like a birthday person. I don't remember my birthdays that much. It's super boring. But my daughter's birthdays are always super
Anyway,
fun.
My birthday, we just had a nice little dinner, right?
Yeah,
We had
that's
some
good
steaks
times.
and
Yeah.
stuff. That was
Yep.
good. But,
good food.
dude.
good
What
times.
about like in the fucking CNBC days and shit?
Yeah,
You had some
man.
good birthdays. Come on.
Yeah, I know, but they're so long ago. They're hard to remember.
Let me ask you this. Ready?
Yeah.
Be a little candid.
Okay.
Don't be afraid. Nobody's gonna watch this. Your daughter won't see this.
I'm pretty sure she watches this show. But why?
It's a sexual question.
Oh, yeah, I don't know then. Go for it.
What's the most
question?
girls you've ever slept with in a single night?
Oh, I'm never answering that question.
Pussy.
Yeah, there's
You're
no
a pussy.
It's never gonna happen.
Can I tell you something?
My fiance watches this show too. But go ahead.
Oh,
No,
yeah,
I
that's
you
right.
obviously want to brag.
No,
Go for it.
I was honestly asking you. I'm sure your
Yeah.
number's higher than mine.
Yeah.
I guarantee it. But anyway, so best birthday. Go on.
Best birthday we had. Let's
Or
see,
a fun one that you remember. You don't
the
have to say
entire. We had the entire top floor of cabanas at the Hard Rock.
This is
pool.
what I'm fucking talking about. This kind
No,
of shit.
sorry, the Palms pool. Yeah.
Yeah, there you
I had the
go.
entire top floor. And because I was so close with the people that worked there, they gave us everything for free. They let my friends at the time take an entire cabana just for doing whatever they wanted to do in there. And
What does that
it
mean?
was crazy.
Sex?
So it was fun. No, just in general. There was no
Cocaine.
rules. It was just a great time.
What was the guy
and
who
a
would
lot
stare down the barrel of
lot
his
of friends.
clipboard? Johnny Tran? No, what's his name?
Pretty much, yeah. Let's just call him that.
Let's see, because you don't remember.
No, his name was Don.
Don Chan? Don
Something like that.
Chan?
I don't want to actually
You don't
call
wanna
out his
say it.
name.
I know
yeah.
you pussy.
Okay.
So what did yeah, Cameron, what the fuck? I forget, well, I didn't forget. Honestly, I was just thinking we're being candid. We're talking. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
Cameron, that's foul for you
Asking
to
me that
ask
question,
Jared.
knowing I have a family that watches the show.
All right, so Jared, what's the funnest birthday you had? I switched it up.
Yeah.
I pivoted.
That was a fun, yeah. So I got the entire pool at the Palms. There was live music there, and it was during an actual party they were throwing.
How many
so-
bodies, though, bro? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, so that was a
That's
fun
dope.
time.
That's dope.
Yeah.
But no, you're with the one and
I
only.
used to celebrate.
You're with Jessica Brittany, the only person you belong with and deserve to be with.
I know.
And you have two beautiful children, and
Yep.
that's that.
Yep.
Who cares how
We have
many
good
if you
times.
slept with more than one girl in one night? I don't fucking care. You probably didn't, pussy.
Yeah.
But anyway, so Chase is laughing, guys. I think that's our cue. We love you so very much. We appreciate the gosh dang shit out of you. Next week, we're going to have Jared try and produce the show and see how that goes. I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, please.
That would be mayhem. Yeah, Chase got you, Jess. But Jess, it's not like I don't got you. Hold on. Let's pause for a second. I got your back too, and I always gotta have your goddamn back. So I was just making a little jokey here. Anyway, so guys, we love you so much from Redacted.
Thank you, everybody in the chat today. Happy birthday, Cameron. I'm glad we had a fun show on your birthday.
Thank you, buddy.
What a crazy topic. I want to hear what you guys have to say. What did we talk about that you didn't know? What did we not talk about? What are we missing? What do you think really happened that day? D Livewire says he thinks there's an inside job element to this for sure.
Ooh.
Keep it coming. I want to know more. Put it in the
Yeah.
comments, like, subscribe. Cameron's birthday wish, 1,000 subscribers. I think you can all help us make that happen. Please do. Thank you so much.
Yeah, that is my birthday wish, and thank you for remembering, Jared. And if we could make that happen, that would be super dope, guys. That would mean the world to me. So please, 1,000 subscribers. I know we can do it. I know it's possible. 1,000 subscribers ASAP. I love you guys so much. Chase, McKenna, Jessica Brittany, Felicity, D Livewire, Michael Domino, TBRM, Tina Zarega, CRB, Given Life, even though you're not here. Everybody, we love you guys so much. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. You guys rock.
Yeah.
Can't wait till Thursday. D Livewire says Thursday's gonna be a fun show. It's gonna be a fun show.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys then. We love you so much. Until then, we will see you on the flippity floppity. Love you guys. Later.
Save for trash talk.
Oh yeah.